What is up, Whiskey Tube? How is everybody? I missed y'all last Monday. Wasn't able to hop on. I was on Drew from Whiskey Lore. I was on his podcast talking some old dusty stuff. He hasn't released it yet. I think he said like 2 weeks, so hopefully it drops next week. That was a blast to sit there and talk some old stuff with him, and I mean he's so knowledgeable. Has a lot of knowledge of some of that older stuff as well. So he's gonna be getting into some really cool stuff here. Later on this year. But tonight, guys, I do have some very special guests joining me this evening for a blind tasting. We have Bobby from Bourbon Battalion, and we also have his good buddy Zach Andrews joining us for a blind tasting that I sent them this evening. Just try to catch up on a couple things before we get into this. I did just get back from Kentucky for our first Barrels for Hope pick, which is a lot of fun. Finally got to meet all four of the guys, and then got to meet some other people down there as well. That was a blast, being able to go and pick an Elijah Craig barrel, and then also having an additional Elijah Craig barrel proof short barrel tagged along with that one. So that was really cool. A lot of fun. And actually, let me restart there. I'm going to give away a sample of each one of these. So I do have sample bottles of each here. Our original pick was 118.6 proof, Warehouse H floor 3, and then the short barrel was 133.5 proof, Warehouse V as in Victor, and floor 6. So it was weird. It's weird tasting them when they're cold because the warehouses are cold, and then going back and tasting them when they're warm. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these fine gentlemen on the screen, and we're going to go say hi to some people here in the chat, guys. So welcome to the screen, Mr. Zach Andrews and Bobby from Bourbon Battalion. What is up, brother?
What's up, my brother?
How are you, man?
Doing outstanding.
Good to see you.
Doing well.
Good. Is Zach? Try to restart your camera there, Zach, if you can.
Doing something. But
I'm gonna say hi to a couple people in chat here.
Let me try to jump out and hop back right back in.
I'm gonna say I like a little echo there, Jared.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So just catch up here. We got Darrell. Darrell Stewart's in the house. Good on, man. Says cheers, y'all. Gotta love blind flights. Hell yeah, man. Alex Briere, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Samples are going out tomorrow, my friend. Adam Shelton. Speaking about Adam Shelton, good buddy Adam. I'm going to crack this Blue Note tonight. Thank you, Adam, for this. This is awesome. I think it's the first pick of Blue Note I ever had. I know I've tried some fantastic stuff, but this is the first one that I've actually owned personally. So, Adam, thank you for that. Got something coming your way, buddy. Good to see you as well. Doug H is in the house. Cheers, buddy. Mark Mace. Cheers, Dan. And to all my friends in chat. Cheers, Mark. Peter B is in the house. Cheers, all. Eric Damaris, who I spent some time with down in Kentucky. Had a really good time with him. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. Shauna Marie D is in the house. What's going on, Shauna? Good to see you as well. Got Jake McKee's in the house. Cheers, all. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you, Jake. Peter. What else we got in here? Biking Bourbon. What's going on, man? Good to see you. EJ is in the house. Cheers. Got Raider Dave in the house. What's up, Zach and Bobby, my guys? Good to see you, Raider Dave. Haven't seen the chat before, but welcome, my friend. JG is in the house. Cheers, buddy. Whiskey, cheers. All right, guys. We got 28 in the chat. Whiskey Uncensored. What is alive without having Ben in the chat? What's going on, Ben? Good to see you. He says, so this is where Bobby's hanging out. That's awesome. BT is also in the house. Cheers, BT. Good to see you as well, my friend. I'm going to be reaching out to you either today or tomorrow. Tony Tuto's in the house. Cheers, folks. Good to see you. Got a couple other people entering the chat here as well. Still waiting on Zach to see if he pops in. I don't see him in the back yet, so hopefully everything's good. His camera was fine earlier. Not sure.
Just a second ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to it, but we'll get it all figured out here.
Yep.
Raider Day says, thank you, Dan. Looking forward to getting in the channel. It's awesome, man. Welcome. As I said, very, very nice to have you here. Cam Lochner's in the house. Says, hoorah, double dog. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, guys. So I got a pretty cool blind flight here for these guys tonight. And I did, base some of my questions off of some of the Matt Madness questions as well. There's Zach. Let's bring Zach on the screen. There he is. What's going on, buddy?
Doing all right. I guess now I don't know. Difficulties doing these things.
That's all good, man. I saw it was weird because I saw you. I saw your background there, but I didn't see you, and I was like, where'd he go? So down on my end, but but then up on here it was like a black screen.
Video froze. Video froze. No worries.
Top dog is in the house. Cheers, buddy. John, good to see you. Katie Turk. Cheers, all lurking tonight. No worries, Katie. Good to see you. You and Ethan. Good to hear from you. But yeah, guys, the pick we did down Elijah Craig was it was a lot of fun. It was a unanimous decision amongst the barrel that we picked. So that was actually really cool. And then there was a really old raggedy barrel that had been sitting around the warehouse. That nobody had tapped the bung yet or anything like that, and so we were able to crack that thing open and attempt to thieve some whiskey out of there, and obviously we were successful, and one thing led to another, and we have a second barrel. So still some kind of things in the works with that. So that's all I'll discuss about that. I'm still backed up on reviews. I still have some things I got to do. I got some Wyoming whiskey to review. Got a Parker's Heritage to review. I got these 2 samples from Jack Daniels here. I got the 10-year and then the 12-year that I got to review. So I got to get that out here. I got Old Carter American Whiskey batch 10 to review. I got a lot of stuff I got to review. The Art of Alchemy. I don't know if anybody's heard of that stuff, and they're blends. So I got that to review here as well. So definitely some stuff I got to get caught up on. Joe Graves in house. Joe, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right, guys. So I am going to do a giveaway tonight, guys. I'm going to do a sample of each one of these Elijah Craig barrels, barrel proofs. So I'll do a sample of each one of these, and then we can do a sample of the Jack Daniels here as well. The 10 and the 12-year, I'll do a sample of those, and then we can do a sample of. I'm trying to think if I picked up anything recently. I can't even think off the top of my head right now if there's anything else. I could do a sample of the Parker's Heritage double barreled as well. And then, maybe I'll do some dusty stuff here as well, guys. So I did run the super chat thing down there at the bottom. If anybody is interested in super chatting, I am giving away some samples tonight. So that is that. Peter B says that Jack 12 is releasing soon. Looking forward to the review. Yeah, that'll probably be the next one I do is the 12. Again, I haven't even cracked it yet. So still sealed. Let's see. William Hall's here. Cheers, everyone. Hope all is well. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. Raider Dave said that's some awesome samples. Yes, indeed. Like I said, we'll probably get into a dusty sample or two here as well, and probably be able to get them all out tomorrow. Surprisingly enough. So, gentlemen, in front of you, you have 4 samples. You guys can go if you haven't poured them already. You can go ahead and get them poured into your glasses now. Let's see, Shauna Marie D, Whiskey Uncensored, right back at you. I'm actually going to give myself a pour here of this Blue Note. Crack this thing open. Adam, thank you again. I know you're in chat. I saw you, so thank you for that. Robot Scott is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. All right. We'll start the night out with that. What's everybody drinking tonight, guys? Curious. What's in the glass? What's not in the glass?
I have no idea.
We will get there. We will get there. And like I said,
probably
you know,
still
right
won't
at
have
the
any
end,
idea.
I'll do some additional questions for each one. Maybe we'll do 2 bottle guesses and then 2 additional questions on top of the ones you already answered right at the end to see what we can do. So, Medium Ugly's in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Peter B says Blue Note picks are nice. Yes, indeed. Robot Scott, big fan of Blue Note. Mark May said he's drinking some Red Line M&J pick. Very nice. Very nice. I'll tell you though, man. When we were down in Kentucky, we stopped over at Willett for lunch, and I don't know if anybody here in the chat's been there, or if you guys on screen have been there, but the ham sandwich that they have there is the best ham sandwich I've ever had in my entire life. Period. Like they actually melt the Gouda cheese on top of the sandwich, and it's just unreal. It was so good, man. That was by far probably the best thing I had down there.
That's crazy. The best thing you had down there was a ham sandwich.
I'm telling you, I swear, if I could pull up a picture and put it on the screen, I would. But I mean, you know, we had some good lunch. You know, I had the fried chicken sandwich at Bardstown Bourbon Company, which was really good. I did have some butterscotch pie from a place called Mammy's Kitchen, which was fantastic. And then some cream cheese stuffed French toast the morning after, and so yeah, it was pretty wild. But
sounded like a very healthy diet.
yeah, and then a ton of whiskey on top of all that. So, Whiskey Uncensored says only 349 subs from 1K. Can I get there by Friday? Nope. We'll try, Ben. We'll try to get you there, man. I'll post something on Instagram. Did they bring back the donut? I don't know. I'm not sure, Ben. Peter B says drinking Russell's 10. Shauna Marie says things are better now, but good for the most part. Hope you had a good Monday. Sean, hope everything's okay. Medium Ugly says most off profile, but yet on profile Elijah Craig I've ever had, if that makes sense. Yes, that definitely makes sense for sure. Again, man, it was, you know, it's wild. You know, that the pick was very strange. So very kind of, you know, Bourbon of the Week says, let's go. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you in here in the chat. And guys, I did actually, I did create a Patreon. So there is, yeah, I finally did it. So you know, if anybody's interested, I have a lot of really good stuff in there to, you know, as you know, for the tiers and stuff like that. So I kind of put a lot of thought behind it, and I went ahead and created one finally. So that is out there. If anybody's interested in becoming a patron, I look to do a lot of different things with the channel. Again, I'm new to Patreon, so I'm trying to get a lot of information on there. I did just post something on there today that I am not technically allowed to post on the tube. So that is out there. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this blind. Saucy Shane's in the house. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. All right. So in glass A, on the nose, I need you to tell me the age off of glass A. Okay. Now, if you are correct, that'll be 5 points. If you are 1 year off, you get 4 points. If you are 2 years off, you get 3 points. 3 years off, you get 2 points. And 4 years off, you get 1 point. And we're going to go ahead and put a Joe, thank you for that. Thank you for putting the link to the Patreon up there. I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and pin that message. Thank you for that, Joe. Much appreciated. If anybody's interested in joining, a lot of cool stuff on there. So John Crane's in the house. Cheers, John. Good to see you, my friend. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to set a timer. All right. I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for, I'm going to give you guys 35 seconds. How does that sound?
Perfect.
All right. We're going to do 35 seconds and you may begin. Again, Joe, thanks for that. Much appreciated. Yeah. So as I said, you know, I tried I try to incorporate a lot of different things into the tier system and be very fair about it. There's a lot of kind of giveaways and stuff like that, kind of like, as thank yous, obviously. But again, I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And I'm really looking forward to having, some like specialized content and stuff like that on there. So you guys got 2, 1, and done, guys. All right. So, Bobby, we will go ahead and start with you.
Yeah.
What is your guess for age on Glass A?
5.
5 years. All right. Zach, what is your guess?
I was thinking 8.
8 years. All right.
Thinking 8.
You got it. 8 years. All right. That's on the nose. All right. So again, we're going to go through the nosing round first, and then we will go through the tasting round after that. Again, just like Matt Madness style. So, where are we here? Saucy Shane, cheers. Let's see. Let me know when you're done. I'll come down and tailgate with you. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do, guys, I'm starting to plan ahead through April and kind of into May with getting some people on the channel to do more of these blinds, just to try to get. More of a like collaborative thing kind of going on with everybody. So I know I'm trying to plan, having Big Vic on. I'm trying to plan on having. I know Big Vic wants to go up against Jeffrey Wax so bad, so I gotta make that happen. I'm trying to get Mark on from Northwest Bourbon. Trying to get Bad Axe Bourbon on. Saucy Shane, I want to get Saucy on as well. So yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm trying to get Joe Graves on. I know he has a setup now, so there's no excuses now at this point. So Joe's definitely going to come on. I think Chris from Bourbon of the Week is going to come on as well. I think Mr. Bourbon Judge called him out specifically, so that may be a future one as well. So yeah, kind of a lot of stuff I want to try to get, more of a collaborative thing kind of going on, having people on and doing these blinds. It is a lot of fun. I'm not involved in it, but I'll still drink along with y'all. So
yeah.
Shredwar's in the house, man. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. All right, guys, on Glass B. Let me take a sip of this, guys. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Zach, this is the quietest you and I have ever been.
Well, it's not our show, so
I know.
we can't like shut up. We gotta shut up and be nice.
Well, when this blind's done, man, you guys can let it all go. So if you guys want to talk shit to one another, that's fine by me too. We don't gotta be quiet on here. So you should know that, Bobby. All right. So on B.
Yeah.
For 3 points, I need you guys to tell me if this is a bourbon, wheated whiskey, American whiskey, or a finished whiskey. Bourbon, wheat, American whiskey, or finished.
Finished.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get 35 seconds, and you may begin. Bourbon of the Week says, I want to know what they are smoking on. Bobby will be able to answer that, and Zach will be able to answer that right after this question, Chris. Mark Mace, we got to get you on here too, man. We got to get you doing a blind, buddy. We're going to do that. You guys got 10 seconds. Donald Rance is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Said, cheers, good evening, folks. Just popping in on a quick break at work. Cheers, man. 2, 1. All right, guys, glasses down. Cooler Ronnie says, hey, Dan, Bobby, Zach, and folks in chat. Cheers, man. Good to see you. Always good to see you in here. All right. So, Glass B. Bobby, what is your guess?
American whiskey.
American whiskey. All right.
Don't steal my thunder. American whiskey.
American whiskey. All right. We will go now.
Oliva V. Milanio.
Well, and what are you smoking, Bobby?
An Oliva V. Milanio Churchill.
Imagine that, Bobby, and an Oliva V. I have I think this is a 2020 Ezra Zion Blessed Leaf.
Okay.
So
very nice. So I know Bobby is I know Bobby's a huge cigar smoker. Are you the same way, Zach? Oh, even more so? Okay.
Well, we smoke about the same, but I mean, I do about 7 to 8 cigars a week or a day. He does. I mean, when we get together, I mean, we've had plenty of 4 and 5 hour cigar nights.
Nice.
Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah. But yeah, we both like cigars. I came up more in the national brand, where he came up more in the boutique. And so we've learned from each other and shared information. And he brought me into more of the boutique side of the house. I brought him back into the bourbon side with cigar. And he brought me the Scotch. So we kind of have just learned from each other.
How different is it with pairing? I'm sure it's vastly different, but just kind of get your opinion on this with pairing cigars with Scotch against pairing cigars against with bourbon. I'm sure again it's vastly different, but like can you kind of talk?
I don't think it is. The same principles are going to apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You're going to use the same principles. Now, you're generally profile wise, you're going to have less to work with on the bourbon side when you compare that to the vastness of the profiles of Scotch. There's just
even though with some of the cigars you're getting some of those like darker, obviously cigar flavor, but like leathery kind of note. So you feel like it may benefit more drinking a Scotch over a bourbon with a cigar.
Sometimes
because of that.
I mean, sometimes I think
that, I think it's a preference thing. But
okay.
As where Bobby, I believe, was going to go is there are times, that one will kind of push more towards this. This goes better with bourbon. This goes better with Scotch.
Gotcha.
So it kind of depends.
Yeah, the end game is more about how do you make both of them better.
Right.
And so the cigar will amplify and the whiskey will amplify if they get the right pairing.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter if it's bourbon or Scotch. It just is what does the cigar require?
Yeah. And for the folks in the chat here, I mean, I've known Bobby for a while, and I know one of the things that Bobby did. This is a while back. I want to say it was last year, maybe. Bobby is asked me what a couple of my like kind of go-to bourbons were at the time, and he smoked them. Smoked them in different types of wood. I still have the Old Forester.
The Old Forester.
1920. I still have some of that left. I don't want to finish it. Is
that the barbecue sauce one? Is that like
that was the one I made for the barbecue?
Barbecue blend.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I still have some of that. I didn't want to finish it off because I was like, man, this is crazy. It's literally like it's not along the lines of like a smoked old fashioned, but I tried it in an old fashioned. So I put that in there. It was dynamite. Like it was fantastic, man. It was really, really, really good. But I wanted to let you know that I still have like that much left in the table. Joe Graves says, hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate that. Mark May says, Ezra cigars are awesome. Great boutique brand. The house blend is excellent. Shrebward says, is Zach Andrews in a band or does it just look that cool?
It's the COVID hair, right?
COVID hair.
COVID happened and the hair just kind of kept growing and it's just kind of hadn't stopped, man. I mean, we're a little over 3 years and I haven't had a haircut. So
nice. Yeah, he gave you the old rock on, man. Peter B says Scotch and bourbon both so good with cigars. No right or wrong, just preference. Good rum also pairs pretty darn well.
Yeah, it does.
I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah.
I think the best rum for me. I mean, obviously I've had rum, but as far as I guess like high end rums, I did have a really good Foursquare, but I can't remember like what it was. I think it was a Foursquare finished in something. I can't remember what. But then an Eldorado 21 year, I think it was, which was really that was really good. I was very surprised by that one. Richie Z's in the house. Cheers, Dan, Bobby, and Zach. Damon, let me know if you need me to track super chats and if there has been any yet. There hasn't, Richie. So again, it's not a big deal. So, but there is some giveaways tonight if anybody is interested. So, all right, guys, let's move on to sample C on the nose. I need you to tell me if this whiskey is finished or not finished. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer right now. If this whiskey is finished or not finished. Yeah, so anybody coming here late. So again, going down to Kentucky, it was a lot of fun. you got to hang out with a great group of guys, just a fantastic group of guys. Again, we all picked the Elijah Craig barrel proof. It was a unanimous decision. And even going back to them, when they're room temperature, some of the flavors and the aromas change too. So 3 seconds, guys. 2, 1, glasses down. I'll get to your guys' answers here in 1 second. But again, it was such a cool experience, to actually go down there with such a large group. That was the first time I went on a barrel pick with that large a group. And again, just to finally kind of meet, Joe and Lance and Josh for the first time, because we've been talking here for a little while. So to finally kind of meet all them and meet Lance's wife and Bill, and I mean, there's just a lot of people down there, and it was a really, really good time. So I think for those of you who are in the Barrel of Hope, charity program, I think you guys are in for quite a treat. So Medium Ugly with a $10 super chat says, let's fix that. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. To get things started off. Again, guys, it's cool. So as far as giveaways, I am going to give away a sample of each one of these Elijah Craig barrel proofs here. And then I'm also going to give away a sample of the Jack Daniel's 10-year, Jack Daniel's 12, which is going to be released here soon. I haven't reviewed them or anything, so you'll probably try it at the same time that I do. And then we can do a Parker's Heritage, the double-barreled. So I'll do a sample of that. And then maybe we'll do some Dusty Turkey. We got some Tom Hanna here. I'm trying to think of what I got in my house. Got some Dusty Old Forester, some Cream of Kentucky open. We'll figure some stuff out, guys. So, Mash and Metal. Cheers to
just full transparency. This is an extra glass. Okay, this is story time.
You're good.
Okay, I promise. Like this is like my extra. This is like my
drinking also. So
this is my control. This is my control.
Mash and Metal.
Good what's up, Dave? Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Shredward says Mash and Metal. What's in the glass tonight? Richie. Tony Two Toes, enter how, just YouTube or got a PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. So there's a Tony Two Toes. There is a super chat button down on the bottom bottom right hand side of the screen. It has a little dollar sign on there. Again, like I said, we'll do some giveaways tonight too. So, but that's where it is. Raider Dave with a $5 super chat, much appreciated, man. Cheers to Zach's luscious locks and Bobby's sweet beard. Good luck, fellas. That's awesome. Cheers, Raider Dave. Appreciate that, man. Shauna Marie D, thank you so much. $10 super chat. Again, hope all is well with you up there. Cheers and thank you so much. Joe Graves with a $10 super chat. Joe, you're in it to win it, my friend. In for some samples. Thank you guys again for the super chats. Like I said, we'll get to some Dusty stuff here too. But I kind of wanted to share some of this other stuff, for anybody who may not have a chance to try any of it. So, Cam Lochner says, unfortunately, Barrels for Hope, or at least the store distributing, can't ship to Indiana. So I told Lance to give my founder spot to someone else. Oh, Cam, we could have figured something else. Could have figured something out, man. We could have got it. We could have got it shipped to somewhere else. But Greg McDonald, question for Zach: any suggestions on what cigar to pair with my 1964 Black Bowmore 5th edition? Not saying that I have that bottle, just wondering.
I mean, I think you'd have to go with something that was equally as extravagant. Probably something like a Zeno or a Davidoff, because I have a feeling that's going to be like Sherry and Pete, knowing that's that old Bowmore. So it's going to be they're going to be peated with sherry cast. So I'm going to think something Davidoff, I think, would probably be your. Then again, that's like out of my price range, Yeah. I mean, some of those are way up there, but that does if you're going to be drinking 1964 Bowmore, like that's just a different era of whiskey,
Yeah.
Completely different time frame. So,
well, there you go, Greg. That is your answer, my friend.
I wish.
Tony Two Toes with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. So just super chat get one of the others that don't charge as much. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Tony, for that. Much appreciated, my friend. Mash Metal says, cheers to all you beautiful whiskey people. Mark Mace with the $20 super chat. Dusty, Bobby, and Zach, thank you for being here tonight and sharing your wisdom and skills. Mark, thank you very much for the super chat, man. It's very, very generous of you, so thank you. Much appreciated. Doug H with the $10 super chat. You guys are all in it to win it now. It says, these are for Richie Z. So, Richie, I know you're counting the super chats, but Doug just bought you 2, my friend. Thank you, Doug, for being here. I am, again, I told you before, I'm coming down to Louisiana for my brother's wedding, and I'll keep you posted on details, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to meet up the day before. So I can't get too shitty with you because I got to be at the wedding the following day. So very hard to pair cigars with peated Scotch, says Cam. Donald Rand says Graham McDonald 1960 Belmore tropical fruit and brine bombs. Geez, too kind. Thank you. Richie Z says, thank you, Doug. All right, gentlemen, on the nose, on letter D. I'm going to ask you for 3 points if this is a Tennessee whiskey.
Did you ask us the answer for a C?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Sorry if it was finished.
Oh.
Good call, Bobby.
You never asked for ours.
Sorry. All right. So, Bobby, is that a finished whiskey or a not finished whiskey?
Finished.
Finished. All right. Zach?
Not finished.
Not finished. All right. Now we can proceed with letter D. All right. So, on the nose, I need you to tell me if this is a Tennessee whiskey, an Kentucky whiskey, or an Indiana whiskey.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and get the timer. You may begin now. I don't have any cool music to play in the background, so it's funny. I don't know if Ben's still in the chat, but Ben, that night we did you played that music on your phone. I got a there was a what the hell do you call that? A copyright claim popped up, so I had to edit that part out of both those songs that you played. I thought that was pretty funny. 10 seconds, guys. Two, one. All right, guys, that is it for that. Joe, did I pick up any special bottles on my trip? I went to we went to Heaven Hill and did the You Do Bourbon, I think, experience. And at the end of that, you could pick one whiskey to bottle, and it was either the Bernheim Barrel Proof, it was Larceny Barrel Proof, it was Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or it was the 14-year Heaven Hill, the Heaven Hill stock, which that is obviously what I picked. I picked that one. But as far as any other special bottles, no, I didn't really pick anything up down there. There wasn't a ton of stuff. Surprisingly, where we were, there wasn't a ton of stuff. But yeah, like I said, I mean, at Heaven Hill, I did the select stock, and I had ordered, a bottle from Old Carter Whiskey Company down there, and surprisingly got to, message Sherry. I shot her a text message and asked her if she was around, and because Eric and I had to leave the hotel and then head down to Louisville. And we didn't really have anywhere to go for like 5 hours. So, I texted her and she was up in her art studio. So, me, Eric, Sherry, and this guy, Jay, who works over there, just hung out up in her art studio and shared some really old whiskey with them. And it was Jay's birthday. So it was really kind of cool. Got to see what her art studio and all that kind of stuff looked like. And it was an old boarding house from the 1800s. Nice. Oh, it was really cool. Just, a lot of cool arts, and she's amazing. She is one hell of an artist. I'll say that. And I'm sure Eric, if he's still in the chat, he would definitely agree with me. But no, Joe, nothing really special to grab. If there was, I definitely would have messaged you, but there was really nothing there, where we were. So, all right, guys. So Adam Shelton says, love the You Do Bourbon experience. Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. I would have loved to bottle any one of those, but I picked the Heaven Hill Select stock, obviously. But so on the nose, on letter D, I asked if it was a Tennessee whiskey, Kentucky whiskey, or Indiana whiskey. Bobby, what was your answer?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Zach, what was your answer?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. All right, guys, that concludes the nosing round. Now we can enjoy some sipping. And I'm curious to see if your answers are going to change when you sip this whiskey now from what you previously answered. So on the palate, we're going to go to letter A.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing to myself.
I second guess myself a lot on blinds because, like,
I don't second guess myself. I just go with what it makes sense right away, and then I write that down.
Yeah,
I write down fast. I notice the more time I take, I probably just like think more about it.
I know. It's it's funny because, like, on a couple of times when I was doing some of these with Eric and stuff like that, I would think of something on the nose. And then when I tasted, I was like, well, that's definitely not what I was guessing. So at that point, you're like, well, so.
Yeah.
All right. So on letter A, on the palate, I need you to tell me if this is a bourbon, a rye, or an American whiskey. Bourbon, rye, American whiskey. And this is for 3 points. All right. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. And you guys may begin. Bourbon, rye, American whiskey for 3 points. Eric says Sherry is an amazing artist and person. Had a great time. Yeah, it was really, really cool. I felt really bad bothering her because I knew she was trying to get something done. I can't really say what it was for, but she was trying to get something done, and we were kind of there as it was happening, so it was pretty neat. Joe Graves says Todd is so jealous she hung out with Sherry Carter. 5 seconds, guys. It was a lot of fun, and trust me, I didn't really expect it. I just shot her a text message. All right, guys, that is it for that. Joe Weninger says, packed up your malted hard truth bottles today. Caramel chocolate, enjoy. Sweet buddy. I will talk to you outside this chat. I'll shoot you a message either later tonight or tomorrow. Much appreciated, man. Thank you so much. Good to see you in here, Joe, as well. Okay. Oh, Top Dog. Also, John, thank you so much for the package, man. That's awesome. Can't wait to get into that. So thank you for that. All right, guys. So on the palate, I asked you if this is a bourbon, rye, or an American whiskey for 3 points. Bobby, which
rye.
Rye. All right. Zach,
rye.
Rye. All right. All right. All right.
All right. All right. All right.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen? It was like one of his, like, I don't know what movie award he won, but it was one of the Golden Globes or something like that. That Matthew McConaughey had a really cool speech. I'm sure if you Google it or whatever, look it up on YouTube. Matthew McConaughey acceptance speech, whatever. It's actually really cool. It's probably one of my favorite speeches, like that I've heard, like from any kind of actor, actress, or anything like that. But it was just really cool. It was a really cool meaning behind it. But if you guys get a chance, check it out. It was really cool.
He did a really good graduation one time.
You guys did?
Yeah, he did a really good where he came in and did the speech at a college.
Yeah,
it was
University of Texas.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's right. That's where he went to school. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He lives in Austin, so yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but it was really cool. It was a great acceptance speech. So if you guys get a chance, check it out.
Cool.
Whoops, who was that? I saw hello. Somebody said hello. Who Flung Dung is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Slapshots Roadhouse is in here. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
I like that Who Flung Dung.
Who Flung Dung, I love it. JH is in the house. What's going on, Jay? Jeffrey Wack, hello again, whiskey and cigar friends. Jeffrey Wack, hello again, whiskey friends. Cheers! I really enjoyed your live stream. Yeah, Jeff does some really cool stuff on the channel, and all those guys, Darrell, Kelsey, and Jeff are all great people. Jeff, again, I don't know if you heard, but Vic is still calling you out, man. He wants a piece of that, and so we got to figure something out. But I'm trying to get some other people scheduled, but a blind will be coming your way. Possibly all three you, Kelsey, and Darrell, and then Vic, and we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But he hasn't stopped talking about it. So thank you, Top Dog. Takes a lot of energy for that type of top-notch content. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so on glass B.
Yep.
On the palate, I need you to tell me if this whiskey is finished in rum, port, or Armagnac. All right.
Yep.
Rum, port, or Armagnac on letter B. And you guys can go ahead and start right now. Pretty good for a Monday night. I hope you're doing great. Better now with this crew, and drink doesn't hurt either. Man, I tell you what, this Blue Note is fantastic, though. Man, 123 proof, 125 proof. It's good. But I'm definitely slacking. I need to get some more drinks in me. 5 seconds, guys. All right, that is it. Who's going to jump on the name Cow Patty Flinger? It used to be a game in a small town. I grew up in the street fair. That's funny. Bourbon of the Week says Blue Note is so good. Man, I'm telling you, I've had a sample or two of a Blue Note pick, and I loved it. And this is the first bottle of a Blue Note pick that I actually own, and it is absolutely fantastic. I love it. What was that? Mr. Great Shots in the house. What's going on, man? Says cheers, fellas. Dusty Dan. Cheers, my friend. Again, I appreciate what you're doing for me. So much appreciated. I'll text you. Specific on the finishes. Yes. Mark, Northwest Bourbon is in the house, buddy. You are going to be coming on a live here soon. I'll send out a date. Bad Axe Bourbon wants to go up against you on a blind tasting. So I'll shoot out a couple dates to you and get you on the channel, man. All right. So for letter B, I asked you if this was finished in rum, port, or Armagnac. Bobby, what you got?
I said rum.
Rum. Zach?
Oh, I'm going to say port.
Port. All right.
Say port. It was sweet.
And I'm just glad that you didn't say Armagnac, because then I'd been like, fuck.
No, it wasn't Armagnac. No, it wasn't Armagnac. I was flip-flopping between port and the rum, but it was so sweet that normally I get that extra level of sweetness coming from a port.
Yeah.
That's why I went rum, because it's all sugar-based. It's the only reason I said rum. Because I was like, I got the same sweet, but I noticed that I typically get a little bit more sugar with rum. So
Katie Turk says, thank you for tracking Reggie Z. Appreciate not near a computer tonight. Cam Lochner with a $20 super chat. Cheers, brother. Much appreciated. Says, I'll take Dusty samples for 20, Alex. Cheers, man. I appreciate that. Cam, always good to see you in the chat, my friend. Northwest Bourbon says he is good with the axe in there. Uh-oh. Here we go. That's gonna be a good one. I can't wait. I'm gonna try to find one more person to go with you guys, so I'll have to figure that part out.
Oh, you got those. You might as well add Cam or somebody in the military and just make it a fucking military throwdown.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could do that. If
get Cam or get Trev.
Yeah,
because that would be like you have so you have Bobby and Mark, right?
Yeah.
Trev in there. Aren't they all Army?
I know Trev is. Mark is.
I think. I thought they were all Army.
I think you might be right. Well, Cam's not, but
Cameron's a Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we understand. We know who the Marines are. That's for sure.
Who Flung Dung says, LOL, been trying to come up with a new handle to change it up a little bit, but this one's hard to beat. Who Flung Dung? That's so
you don't
good.
get rid of that channel. That's
all right, Vic.
I love it. All
right, Vic, I see you, man.
EJ says Northwest Bourbon. Hello from a few hours south. Northwest Bourbon. Hope you guys have something important tonight. Bourbon of the Week. How difficult is trying to figure this out while smoking? Do y'all have enough that you can still pick out the flavors?
Yeah.
Bourbon of the Week says, yeah.
This is what Zach and I do every.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink without smoking.
Big Vic Backyard says, "Cheers, Dusty and Bobby, the loser of Zach Andrew." Uh-oh.
Oh, he's calling me the loser to Zach.
He's calling me. Right. He's calling me the loser.
I thought you were saying that I'm the loser
because he beat me by like 2 points or 3 points or something.
Oh, Big Vic.
Like that, you know?
Big Vic. Katie says, "Drinking some red wine tonight. Have to mix it up." There you go. Never a bad idea to mix it up.
Big Vic talking some shade.
You too, Vic.
You know what? Maybe I'll get. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I gotta figure out Big League Bourbon.
I mean, because you know that they do the red. Yeah, Bobby and those guys and Mark and everybody does the red thing. So
yeah,
you know, I mean that just makes sense to me. You have the makings of a military battle.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun, actually. Big League Bourbon's in the house. What's going on, man?
What's up, Chris?
He says the absolute most amount of sexiness allowed on a screen at once? Question mark. Seriously, my screen is on fire. Cheers, dude. Good to see you, man. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to letter C.
Letter C.
On letter C, I need you to tell me what the secondary grain is on letter C. All right, and that's going to be for 3 points. All right, secondary grain on letter C. You may begin now. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to orchestrate some things here between some people. So some people are calling out some people that want to battle. So you can't turn that away. So that'll be a lot of fun. I just got to figure out. I gotta dive more into content. I mean, I have an idea for a few, but I got to dive into a little more content to see how I might be able to trick them a little bit. 3 seconds, guys. All right, that is it. Had some Coors Stubbies last night to mix it up. Top Dog, how are you this fine evening? You're doing awesome work bringing the different communities together. Yeah, man, that's what it's all about. So, Chris, again, I'm not sure if you heard, but the bourbon judge, he wants to battle you in a blind as well. So, I talked to him not that long ago. So we'll have him on the channel down the road. So, Jeffrey Wax says, "You still game for Whiskey Wednesday next week?" Yes, indeed. So I just can't stay up crazy late because I got to fly out for my brother's wedding the following day. But I'm always down to party. So, all right, guys. Secondary grain on the palate. Bob, what you got?
Wheat.
Zach.
Wheat.
All right, guys. So now the final question here before we get into the very last questions. So on the palette on letter D, okay. I need you to tell me the proof of letter D. All right. So you will get 5 points if you guess correct. 4 points. I'm sorry. 5 points. Yeah, 5 points if you guess correct. 4 points if you are 3 proof points off, 3 points if you're 5 proof points off, 2 points if you're 7, and then 1 point if you are 10 proof points off. Okay? And you guys can begin right now. And again, these are all Matt Madness questions. Big shout out to ADHD Whiskey, Maddie over there for these questions because that's exactly where I took them from. So. Burn the Week says famous last words. I can't be up late. I know, right? Yeah. Sometimes that happens on here. Dan, I've got a few bottles down at OC. I need to pick up sometime soon. Probably take a trip down to Louisville. 5 seconds, guys, when the weather figures out what season we're in. All right. Cam, that's cool, man. All right, guys, that's it. Cam, if you figure out a time and like a date range, let me know, and I'll see if I can meet you down there. That'd be a lot of fun. Meet up with you and go have a bite to eat somewhere right around there. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, guys. So on the palette, on letter D, I asked you the proof. Bobby, what you got?
111.
111. Zach, what you got?
Oh God, now I'm second guessing myself. I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna say 90.
90. All right. All right, and then we're gonna get into these last questions here.
All right.
So 2 of them are gonna be kind of random questions on some of these that I did not ask. And then 2, if you guys want to do a bottle guess, you want to try to do a bottle guess, you're more than welcome. Yeah, it's whatever you guys want to do.
All right.
So I will do we'll do 2 questions and then two bottle guesses. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right. So for letter A, I'm going to ask you the I'm going to ask you what bottle it is. I want a bottle guess for letter A. I know it's extremely difficult for that, but bottle guess for letter A. For letter B, I need you to tell me the proof. Proof of letter B. C. C, I want you to tell me the proof as well.
So B and C are proof.
B and C are proof, and then A and D are going to be bottle guesses.
Perfect.
And I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to go through these.
Oh, wait, fuck off. So this motherfucker right here.
3 minutes, guys, and you may begin now. Again, letter A is a bottle guess. B and C are proof. D is bottle guess. Jeffrey Wack. Big Vic says, Jeffrey Wack, you down for the challenge, bro? I heard rumors you don't want to battle me, bro. This is good. Cam says, Roger that. Me and Tim Evans need to clear out a locker as well in the OC. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was really cool down there and seeing Sherry Carter. That was a lot of fun hanging out with her. So, Richie, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for dropping the Patreon link. Again, guys, I did set up a Patreon for anybody who's looking to join. I set up a lot of really cool tier systems, a lot of cool giveaways, and there's gonna be a lot of cool content that drops there. Like for instance, I dropped a video today that I am not allowed to drop on the tube. You can only have access to it on Patreon. So it is a review of something. So that I might have something in the works next year. So that's on there now. 2 minutes, guys. Thank you again for that, Richie. Much appreciated. Big League Bourbon says, Bourbon Battalion, I see an Emmons bottle in the background. Jeff Wax says, Vic, who's this? That's going to be a good one. So I just got to get the pairing together and the dates together, guys. It's looking like it's going to be April. Some of these may trickle into May. Next week, I do have Brian Treacy from Sagamore coming on the channel. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with him, kind of talk some of his latest releases, kind of talk a little bit of business. He's an amazing person who runs an amazing distillery. So he's an absolutely great guy. I can't wait to have him on. 1 minute, guys. So yeah, I have him coming on. I also have, if anybody's ever heard of Locking Company, I have Locking Company. They're based out of Colorado. I have them coming on the channel a little later on as well. Again, there's kind of a lot of going back and forth, but I'm looking to try to at least get one distillery in there a month, and then maybe do some blinds and stuff like that. I do have a rye blind barrel proof showdown that's going to happen here soon. It's got to get a couple things squared away, and we'll do that. It's not going to be as big as the bourbon. 20 seconds, guys. It's not going to be as big as the bourbon one was, but I think we'll have a lot of fun with the ryes as well. So that's also coming up. The Mash and Drum is in the house. Says the man, the myth. What's up, Dusty? Cheers, man. Good to see you, buddy. 10 seconds, guys. 5 seconds. And that is it, gentlemen. That is it. Okay. I know this is probably the most difficult part, but so for letter A, I asked for a bottle guess. Bobby, what's the bottle guess for letter A?
Pikesville.
Pikesville. All right. Zach, what you got for B? Or I'm sorry, for A. Bottle guess.
Oh, this is the hardest part for me because I never remember distilleries. I don't know that. Old Elk.
Old Elk. All right. For letter B, I asked for the proof. Bobby, what do you have for the proof for letter B?
90.
90. Zach, what do you got for proof for letter B?
It said 107.
107. I asked for proof on letter C. Bobby?
100.
100. Zach?
Wow, 96.
96. All right. And then bottle guess for letter D.
Chattanooga cast strength.
Chattanooga cast strength. Zach?
I have no idea. The one that could
53 people in the chat, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight.
I have no idea.
No guesses?
I have nothing.
Throw something out there. You never know.
God bless. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I have no idea that I would like pinpoint that to. What are you drinking? Blue Run. We'll call it Blue Run.
Okay, Blue Run.
Wild out of my where.
All right, guys, give me a minute here. If you guys want to go ahead and chat, I got to calculate these points up here real quick.
So we obviously do YouTube. We just are in the middle of getting ready to do a reboot. So every Wednesday on Instagram at 10 o'clock Eastern, we do whiskey and cigar pairings. We bring in cigar people. We bring in a lot of times cigar makers. We bring in a lot of whiskey distilleries. And we go through and help people find how to have a better experience through the art of pairing your whiskey and cigars. This coming Wednesday, super excited. Dreamer Cigars coming on. If you don't know his channel, he's a Cigar 101 guy. He does a lot of really good stuff, mostly Cigar 101. His background was really in the idea that he liked cigars, but he would go through and act like he knew something, but he didn't, and then realized one day that he looked like an idiot and decided he wanted to be able to impart the knowledge that he never had. And so if you watch Dreamer Cigar, he does a lot of 101 content, how to cut, what to do, proper etiquette for cigars for beginners. Great guy. He's going to be on, and he's getting into the pairing. So this coming Wednesday, it's going to be Cigar 101 meets Pairing 101.
Nice.
And we're going to go through and do that with Dreamer Cigars over on YouTube. So we're on Wednesday, will be Instagram. And then April 18th, we will be on his YouTube channel. So,
Bobby, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you rank these from 1 to 4?
Best. I didn't rank them. Am I supposed to?
I'm asking. No, I'm just asking.
Hold on.
I'm helping fill time here. Come on.
I appreciate it.
Probably say on the rip.
Okay, I'll tell you mine. ADBC.
So far, I think we're the same.
ADBC, I think was my.
Yeah, I would agree. I was going to say A for sure.
A and D were close.
Yeah.
A and D were real close.
Yeah, I would say ADBC. That makes sense to me. I think that goes along with the idea that, I'm not the biggest weeded fan in the world. So I'm kind of like, I don't dislike, okay, the best weeded bourbon I've had in years is the Bardstown's Origin Wheated. Hands down, no doubt about it. Kills most every wheated I've had. Exactly. That is such a good pour. If you haven't tracked down the Bardstown Origins Wheated Bottled and Bond,
yeah, that's really good. It's pretty good.
It is the best wheated bourbon that Zach and I have had in years.
We got to try some out of the cask when we went to Bardstown for the theme thing. Oh my god,
yeah I did.
Crazy cask strength, man. Oh Jesus,
yeah, I got to try them all out of the cask.
Yeah, that's
it's coming. Now I will say that
it's coming.
But that's a weeder that isn't like a traditional weeder.
There's got to be something in the barrel spice. There's something in there that brings out a note that isn't rye, but it amps it up to the point that you feel like there's something there more than just that malted barley on the back end behind a wheat.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. I was glad that I was able to get a few of them, but I was also able to share, right? I've been through 3. Well, I shared a bunch. With helping people, and so it's kind of, listen, what Bardstown's doing is fantastic. I'm happy to be a part of it. What they're doing is spectacular.
All right, guys. All right. So for the results here, Big League Bourbon. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, let's go. Bring me the Dusties. You got it. We'll break some out. We will break some out. William House described the bottle. Haven't popped yet. Bardstown Origin Series wheated is delicious. It's an old school weeder like we talked about. Yep. I'm a big fan of the Origin weeder. Buffalo Trace kosher wheat is good too. I don't think I had that one. I don't think I've tried the Buffalo Trace kosher wheat yet. Medium Ugly says the first cigar that got me into cigars was the Southern Draw Rose of Sharon.
Wonderful. That cigar is actually named after his wife.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The gentleman that owns the Southern Draw. Basically, all of the names of the cigars are all flowers. And he did that one in honor of his wife, whose name is Sharon. So you have the Rose of Sharon.
Love it. All right, guys. So on the nose, the first round, I asked you the age of the whiskey. Bobby guessed 5 years.
I said 8.
Zach guessed 8.
Yeah.
The correct answer was 8 years.
Good job.
So Zach, you got 5 points. Bobby, you got 2 points because you were within a certain range.
Right.
On the nose for letter B, I asked you if this was a bourbon, wheated whiskey, American whiskey, or finished whiskey. Bobby guessed American whiskey. Zach guessed American whiskey. It is actually a finished whiskey.
Weird.
On letter B. On
we figured it out later when he said finishes.
On letter C, I asked you if this was a finished whiskey or not a finished whiskey. Bobby said it is finished. Zach said it is not finished. It is not a finished whiskey, so Zach got 3 points for that.
Nice. On
letter D, on the nose, I asked if it was a Tennessee whiskey, Kentucky whiskey, or Indiana whiskey for 3 points. Bobby said Tennessee whiskey. Zach said Kentucky whiskey, and neither of those are correct. So there was 0 points on that.
Wow.
Moving to the palate.
Congratulations, Zach.
Jeff wasn't here. I needed Jeff's nose, man. Jeffrey, where were you?
Whiskey Food Dude, thank you so much for the super chat. $10 super chat says, cheers, Dusty Dan and all. Cheers, man. Good to see you as always, my friend. Thanks for stopping in the chat. You're in it to win it, man. I'll go through the giveaways again. I do have actually a couple bottles in there that we can get into in the Dusty world. So, on letter A on the palate, I asked you if it was a bourbon, rye, or an American whiskey. You both guessed rye, and you were both correct for 3 points. For letter B on the palate, I asked you if this was finished in rum, port, or Armagnac for 3 points. Bobby guessed rum. Zach guessed port. It is a port finished rye whiskey. Zach, you got 3 points on that one.
Okay, it's a port finished. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
On letter C, on the palate, I asked you for the secondary grain, and you both guessed wheat, and that was wrong. So there was 0 points for that one. On the palate for letter D, I asked you the proof. Bobby guessed 111. Zach guessed 90. The correct answer was 118. And Bobby got 3 points for that. Then moving into the last round where I asked you 4 different questions, 2 bottle guesses, 2 proofs. For bottle guess on letter A, Bobby guessed Pikesville Rye, and Zach guessed Old Elk. Neither were correct. For letter B, I asked for the proof. Bobby guessed 90. Zach guessed 107. Neither of those were correct. No points given on those.
Wow.
On on letter C, I asked for the proof. Bobby said 100 proof. Zach said 96. Zach, you got 4 points. Bobby, you got 2. And then the bottle guess on letter D, Bobby guessed Chattanooga Cask Strength, and Zach guessed Blue Run. Neither of you were correct.
Right. Because it's not Tennessee whiskey. So congratulations, Zach.
Big Lee Bourbon says, whiskey voodoo, leave my dusties alone. Big Lee Bourbon, last time I won here, I got a sample of 135 proof Bourbon Junkie Stag Junior pick, so I'm hoping press my luck. Good luck, bro. Nice. I've won some amazing pours here. That's awesome, guys. All right, so now for the reveal. All right, so Zach, you won this evening with 18 points.
Yep.
Bobby, you had 10 points, but this one was definitely more.
Really quickly, out of how many? What was my totals? What was the total possible score?
Total possible score?
He's a math guy. He doesn't number.
It's okay. It's okay. Not a big deal. I was just wondering
percentages.
I was wondering how was it 30?
So 5.
I'll hear this on Wednesdays forever.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13,
he needs to have victory somewhere. I'll give it to him. No.
14,
good job, though.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26, 31. 31.
You know, you figure in general
that right over. I was right over 50%. So okay.
Yeah, about 40 possible points. So
gotcha. Okay.
All right. So on letter A,
50%, just so you know, in case you don't know the math. So let's not get all fucking cocky there, Zach.
Listen.
On letter A,
less than 50.
Letter A is the 8-year Sagamore Rye.
Rye.
So you guys had the rye. Zach, you had the year. Yep. I mean, you guys both guessed the rye on the palate. Now. Bobby, you were close, man. You guessed Pikesville. I was like, oh man, okay. So yeah,
I was like, man, you know, I mean, because I'm familiar with Pikesville. Oh, it's funny. I've drank so much of that. It just I haven't went to it lately because I've been waiting to do the bottle I bought from your pick with you.
Damn.
So I got stuck back from Sagamore for a while and started drinking some other stuff.
On letter B, that is
port finished rye.
The Angel's Envy.
Angel's Envy.
This is the port finished. It finished in port wine barrels, which is 124 proof.
So that's just the regular Angel's Envy. Wait, you said what? 100? Yeah, that's the regular Angel.
Yeah, 124 proof.
Yeah,
cask strength. That was from 2018.
Does not drink.
No, it drinks like 90
proof.
No,
it's that port knocks the proof way down.
I went to 90 just because I thought it was 80 something. But you know, we're high proof whores. When do we drink less than like 124?
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the things that's kind of crazy is that there are things that like whenever you finish it that can make that proof feel that can hide that proof.
Absolutely.
Age, we know age does. Age does it too.
I'm wondering if a little drop of water doesn't bring that out.
I don't know, but I know the age for sure will mask proof.
Yeah. I'm actually drinking a Russell's 13, courtesy of Eric Damaris. Eric, thank you. Big Vic with the $5 super chat. I don't know the giveaway, but I'm in. Cheers, man. Again, I'll be reaching out to you here soon with a date. Again, it's looking like April, maybe beginning of May right now. So,
hey, can I give you like an idea to do like a third round one time? Just because it'll mess everybody up.
Yeah,
it'll make them like fuck with their head.
What is it?
Make sure that like after they've done the 2, they don't have a whole lot left. Talk a little bit, wait a little bit, and then make them go back and re-nose.
That's a good idea, actually.
Because like right now, I'm smelling these now as almost empties, and I'm like, holy shit, they are different.
Yeah,
not even close.
It's very true. That's actually pretty wild.
Zach, smell C. Zach, smell C. Are you smelling C? C is like so sweet.
Vic, thank you again though for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Rob Zilla, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Prescription Bourbon is in the house. Cheers, Dan, Bobby, and Zach. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Saucy says Russell's 13 is so delicious. It is definitely a good pour. That's very good. I had a sample before, and I don't remember it. This tastes way better than a sample I had before. I don't know. I mean, are those batched? Do you know the Russell's 13? Are they batched? I'm not 100% sure on that. I never see them around here, so
I've actually never had one.
I think you would call them batched because each year would be like a different run. So yeah. I don't know that you could call it anything other than batched, but there's nothing on the label I think that would identify it as that. You would just say, okay, this is the 2020 batch or the 2021 batch.
Keith Thompson with the $10 super chat. Keith, thank you so much, man. And for a couple, again, guys, I'll go through the giveaway again tonight. I have an idea of what we'll go ahead and give away. So
what was bottle C?
Yeah, so bottle C, guys.
And what's the secondary grain?
Bottle C this is Juke Joint whiskey from Blue Note. Blue Note Juke Joint whiskey. This is 93 proof. It is a straight bourbon whiskey, and the secondary grain is rye.
Wow.
Yep, 93 proof.
No, on an empty glass, you can smell it.
Yeah.
Can you?
That's what I just did. I did it on C.
Yeah, it is. I believe it's high rye. I think it's only like 64% corn or something like that.
That's why I said, did you smell C afterwards? Because it was like totally different than when there was whiskey in there. It changed.
Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. Much appreciated, my friend.
The malted barley on that like had such an impact on the nose.
Oh, definitely.
So apparently they are batched. So Big League Bourbon says yes. Top Dog says yes. 3 different ones. Rob Zilla says yes. Jeffrey Wax says yes. Okay, so good. I was actually unsure. I didn't know they were batched. So
laser code. So
laser code shows the batch. Okay, cool.
All right, did not know that.
And then for letter D, is the Smoke Wagon Uncut, the younger. This is MGP 118 proof.
That makes sense why that was
way off. Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't even
that drank way under too for me.
Yeah, that one actually to me doesn't drink as hot as it states either. So
I'll be honest with you, that doesn't have that MGP funk on the palate or the nose.
Yeah,
MGP has a signature thing, and I wonder if it's that Nevada heat that
when I got into that one, I agree. It's not. It's very different from I can't really say standard, but because there's so many different MGP variants, right? Like, but very, very, very different. But like for instance, if you were to put up this Holding Station right here, which is that's MGP, up against this, they have completely separate profiles, like and opposite directions. So it's it's pretty wild to see. So. Jake McKee with a $20 super chat. Thank you, man. Says, I won an old Rip 10 today. Cheers. I'm in for 4. Nice. How'd you win, Jake? I'm curious. Was it through like a lottery or something like that? Or that's an awesome win.
I think there were some Total Wine notifications that went out.
Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. Rob Zilla says, I can't hang. Cheers, Rob. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Rob Zilla, appreciate it, man. Good to see you again, as always. Yeah, guys. So like I said, I tried to mix this thing up a little bit and try to throw a curveball your way. I felt like if I put the Angels Envy last, it may have messed up, or you guys may have been more on top of the pours at that point. So I wanted to kind of throw that in a little early, just to see if it kind of threw your guys' palates off a little bit with that port influence in there. But
well, for me, I know that I was like, we know what port and rum bring to the table.
Yes.
And I was just recently, I was sitting there and I was looking at well, I thought it was this. So I was like, well, rum makes more sense than port to me, but it didn't taste. But I haven't had an Angel's Envy port in probably, good God, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Well,
and I mean, for me, that doesn't drink 128.
But Zach hates port. He hates port.
Yeah.
So if he didn't like it, he would notice right away that I don't like that.
It wasn't so much didn't like it. It's just not my. If I had to pick one that's a port, that's probably the one I would pick.
Yeah,
that's the one you ranked last. And
I much prefer it on a rye. Well, I much prefer it on a rye profile versus a bourbon profile.
Yeah,
bourbon
Jake,
finished port. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work for me.
Jake did say that he won. He won it via lottery. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool, man. Rob Zilla, see you later, man. Cheers, buddy.
So let me tell you a funny conversation that happened today, because I think it's worthy of being talked about, right? So I had a dude pulled in my drive when I was talking to Zach. Me and Zach were talking earlier about upcoming stuff. And a truck pulled in the house. And I said, hey, I got to go. There's a truck here. So there's a dude coming and talking to me about ADT systems, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. I'll humor him. So I walked out and I had a cigar in my hand. And so he started talking. I was like, yeah. And so to get to the punch, I was like, okay, so cool. Yeah, I do whiskey. I do cigars. That's kind of cool. What are you here to sell? And he told me that. And we started talking a little bit. And he's like, I have a really good buddy that's a big bourbon snob. He has me buy stuff for him and he resells. And I was like, fuck you. I said, so you're sitting there taking from people that want it to give to your fucking buddy that resells it on the secondhand market. I said, what's he marketed from 24 to 100? He said, yeah. I said, fuck you. If I ever catch you buying again, I'll kick you right in the fucking knees. And I just got mad at him. I said, just leave. Just fucking leave. I don't know if he thought he was saying something cool, but he was saying something wrong to the wrong guy.
That's hilarious.
I was like, all the whiskey people hate you. We literally hate you.
Yeah.
He says, well, he sells it to guys that can't get it. Yeah, for like 300% markup.
Yeah.
It's off.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? You're taking 20%. No one's going to feel bad.
No.
Okay? You found it. You did your due diligence. Like,
even
you did some work, yada, yada, yada. 20, 30, 40%, maybe.
Yeah, but
they were pushing it.
Not $100 a bottle for Weller Special Reserve. It's $24 here.
That's 300%.
Exactly.
That's insane. That's pretty wild, to be honest.
I was just like,
that's just so random, though.
Of all the people he could stop and do that to and talk that talk. It was hilarious.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link if anybody wants to hop on here and just shoot the shit. You guys are more than welcome to join.
Here's the big thing, though. Who's buying Weller Special Reserve at $100?
Oh man,
people that can't.
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for those guys.
Right,
because they've been led to believe that that's actually worth $100.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. It's not necessarily their fault. They're just kind of like, well, I can't find it. Everybody tells me it's Weller, so I got to have Weller because that's bourbon, right? Weller. I mean, that's the only thing I could ever get out there And it's like, no, man, dude, just do a little bit of research.
Yes, I agree.
You find replacements.
Hey Dan, can you send me a text later, or just take a picture of later of what the 3 bottles were? Because I'm gonna give the rest of my samples to my brother to do.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3, or you said, or just 3 of them? Did you finish one?
Oh no, I kept all 4. I kept a little bit of all 4. So just let me know what all 4 of the bottles were.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll send you a picture, and
I can let Steve. I'll mess with Steve.
So what was your guys' favorite? I mean, well, I guess I should have asked you before.
Oh no, we both were
we ranked them. It was A, D, B, C.
Also, you had the same favorites?
Yeah.
A, D, B, C? Okay. We got Mark Mace that's going to join us here. Smoking a cigar, I see. Mark, nice. What's up, buddy?
Guys?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, how are you?
Hey, nice, good stuff tonight. A lot of fun. Shared a lot of knowledge. Jeez.
Yeah, this was a pretty fun blind to put together. Again, I have an idea of bottles typically. Like if I watch enough, I kind of have an idea, but it's the order and what you place it is how it can kind of get, twist things. Like I said, if I would have put that port at like the beginning or end, it could have changed the entire thing. You know what I mean? So, I really wasn't going to put a finished whiskey in here, but then I just decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I'll see what happens. So,
well, the level of talent that you had tonight, you should shake them up a little bit. These ain't rookies.
Uh-oh. Look who else we got joining the stream. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, people?
Buddy? How we doing?
Doing good.
Zach, is your okay? There you are. Okay, I didn't know if you were having issues there again.
I had a little issue. I had a little issue where you guys were spinning. So if I kind of stop my camera for a second, it kind of lets everything catch back up. Knowing what's going on right now, I've got 3 TVs inside, like streaming stuff. Yeah. so like they're just like killing the
might be a problem.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, speaking of rookies, what's up, DMC? Okay, we got some good-looking fellas on screen tonight.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Well, again, guys, Zach, Bobby, hope you guys had a lot of fun, man. I did.
This was a lot of fun. Oh, it's a lot of fun. I haven't blinded. I'll be honest with you. I haven't blinded since me and my brother did it before COVID.
Oh, wow. That's a long time, man.
Because we used to double blind all the time. And then everything went to shit, right?
Indeed.
So it was awesome. Again, I know Bobby wants a rematch, Zach. So we'll have to set something up.
I redeemed myself to losing to Vic on Livewire about 6 months ago.
Very
good.
That's his kids are streaming.
Yeah, Zach, you got
turning into a cyborg.
Zach, you might have to restart, buddy. That Russell's 13 was really good, man. That was actually really good. It was better than the first sample that I had for sure. I mean, that blew it away. That actually it makes me want a bottle of it. So
that was funny because like the first Russell's 13 I had, I thought was okay, but it wasn't anything that made me chase it. So I never even tried to find one.
Yeah. Mark Mace, cheers to you, my friend. Keep warm, brother. All right. So again, guys, so for the giveaways tonight, I do have a couple things. So I'm going to do a 1988 Old Granddad 114 from National Distillers. I got to write this down because
that's really good. Really good. Zach, you and I have had the 72.
Yes.
OGD 114 from 1988. And then we're going to do a sample of each of the Elijah Craig's samples from our barrel picks for Barrels for Hope. I'm going to give away a sample of each of one of those.
Very cool.
And then I haven't reviewed these yet. The Jack Daniel's 10 and the Jack Daniel's 12. They just sent these to me. I was supposed to do a virtual tasting, and I may have accidentally forgot to hop on. Didn't mean to. I really wanted to hop on. I couldn't. So I was literally at the airport at the time that I needed to hop on, so I couldn't do it. But
I'm kind of pissed, Dan, because I should have known The rye would have been Sagamore. I should have known.
Yeah, I mean, you guessed Pikesville. I mean, that was pretty good, man.
I was like, I should have known though, because I know that you did your freaking little Dusty Dan first pick.
Is that what you have in your hand there, or is that just regular cast strength?
Yeah, this is yours.
Oh, okay.
Just poured it.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna pour next here. I gotta pour something. And then so we'll do the OGD 114, the Elijah Craig picks. We'll do a sample of each separately, and then we'll do the Jack 10 and 12, and then we're gonna do the Parker's Heritage double-barreled. And I do have just a little bit of the old Oscar Pepper from pre-Prohibition left.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to throw in a sample.
Okay.
Just to sweeten the pot.
That's awesome, man.
So I'm going to throw in, and if Ben's in here, I don't know. I'm going to throw in.
Oh, Boone County.
All right.
The Boone County 1833.
Boone County.
Very nice.
1833 from
If
Bobby.
you know, you know. If you don't know, well, figure it out. You want to know.
if you win the sample, then you'll definitely know.
Yeah, you want to know.
Listen, just for hold on, Bobby. For transparency, that is a bottle Bourbon refused to open after he was given the okay to just go ahead and open it, but he refused.
Also, cheers, Ben. What's up, brother?
And then I'm going to do two more samples as well, guys. One of them is something that I recently cracked upon my arrival back from Kentucky. It's a 1952 Old Taylor that was distilled over at National Distillers, obviously out of the Old Taylor distillery. And then we'll go ahead and throw in, since I haven't given away a sample of the 1955 Cream of Kentucky in a while. So we'll go ahead and do a sample of that as well. So tonight, OGD 114 from 1988 on National Distillers, the Elijah Craig barrel proof picks, the Jack Daniels 10 and 12, a sample of the Parker's Heritage double barreled, Old Oscar Pepper from pre-Prohibition, the Boone County from Bobby, and then a 1952 Old Taylor and a 1955 Cream of Kentucky. That's what's in the mix tonight, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, your pick is way better than.
Yeah, that's a
Dan,
wow.
Dan, can I just
heck of a
say,
lineup
like,
there.
I don't know that you get enough credit for opening bottles and then sharing them.
That again, man, that's what it's all about, though. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed. Like I took a 1937 Shinley down to the Barrels for Hope meeting and shared it with everybody there before we went into Heaven Hill to do our pick. Like I that's what I enjoy, though. It's all about the experience for me and enjoying things with other people. So, what a better time to crack it with with people than tonight or during.
I'm going to echo what Zach said in a little bit different, right? It's one thing to go buy bottles that you can get or things that people want and crack them, but you're cracking shit that's obsolete, like never going to find it, never try it, never. I mean, you're talking about I remember sitting there cracking stuff with the Gunny and stuff like that. And you did that before. Like I've had really good samples from you in the past, really old stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's all about the experience.
But that's what it is, right? Sharing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Mash and Metal with the $20 super chat. Thank you, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Cheers to Dan and all the great folks at Whiskey 2. Cheers, man. You're in it to win it, buddy. Thank you so much, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, just like the fellas were saying, Dan, I think we all here in the Whiskey Tube community appreciate what you're sharing, man.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
as Bobby said, it's stuff that's obsolete. You're not going to get this anywhere else. So that's amazing.
Yeah. It's funny too, because, we went through when we were at Bardstown, we went through the vintage library, and you listen to the cost of some of the pours there, and it's mind blowing as to what they charge for that stuff. You know what I mean? But again, to your point, it's stuff that you're never going to come across, or I mean, you may, depending on your your contacts, or maybe if you find them at an estate sale. I know Ben goes out and hunts old stuff all the time. So
Yeah,
it's definitely out there. You know what I mean? And he's been very, very successful, by the way, in finding some stuff, like mind-blowing kind of successful. So, you know, the stuff is out there. It's very hard to find sometimes, but again, I really truly deep down enjoy sharing it with all you guys. So, and I think everybody on screen besides Zach, I think you guys have all had something old from me. So
everybody has, but right now
Zach had a bunch of old stuff from the gunny.
Okay, nice.
Listen, they sent me just some ridiculous, you know, and to get to try that stuff, it's literally like tasting a time capsule.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. That's the most interesting part about it. It's like you're able to share something from a different time period.
Yeah, we had a crazy discussion. I think we had a little bit of alcohol in us. Then one night we had a discussion about stuff. But it's like, you know, when you think about some of these older bottles, right? How long they sat on a shelf, where they went after that, whose hands did they pass through, or like, you know, whose basement, you know, were they sitting in, and like that kind of stuff intrigues me. You know what I mean? Like how many for X amount of time. You know, I mean, there's bottles out there from Christ. The oldest one they have at Bardstown is like from 1868 or something like that. You know,
they have an 18. I forget what it is, but down. Did you go back to the library?
Cedarbrook.
Did you go to the library?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, if anyone that ever visits Kentucky, you guys should make it a point to go to Bardstown and go to the whiskey library.
Absolutely.
That is an amazing room.
Yes, it is.
Granted, as Dan pointed out, the pours are expensive, but you have to at least see the room because it's epic.
Guys, this is actually a sample from Eric as well. 1989, Wild Turkey, 8-year 101. Eric, again, thank you, my friend. So. Just real quick, just catch up here. Prescription Bourbon with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Your samples are actually going out tomorrow as well. So thank you so much for that. He says Bobby knows. It was a dusty OGD bonded I didn't open. Big League says Hitterville tonight across the board. Holy generosity. Cheers and thanks for you, Dusty. Hey, no problem, guy. No problem, Chris. I appreciate it, man. Eric Damaris with a $10 super chat says got to get in on this one. Cheers, Eric. Much appreciated. Again, I'm drinking your 1989 turkey, buddy.
Go off screen for a second.
Okay. Peter B says, Whiskey Uncensored, love the Star Wars reference. Cam, cross your fingers and rub that rabbit's foot, folks. Here we go. Big Vic, another $5 super chat says, one more try. You got it, buddy. You're in it. Thanks, Vic. Shauna Marie D with the $10 super chat says, give me two more. Cheers, Shauna. Much appreciated. Joe says Dan gave his Uber driver a GTS tip sample one time. Oh, Christ. Keith Thompson says very generous. Thank you, Keith. Much appreciated. $10 super chat again. Much appreciated, guys. Again, I love sharing with everybody. So you know, Ben Whiskey Uncensored with a $10 super chat says stop giving away my bottle, Bobby. Zach don't know what he's talking about unless it's a stick. Medium early Dan, what can you tell me about Hill & Hill 9-year bottled and bond? Back of the bottle says manufactured prior to January 17, 1920. You have to send me a picture of that. Those are Hill & Hill is a brand that, if I'm not mistaken, was part of the prior to obviously prior to the Heaven Hill fires, but that brand also passed through another set of hands, if I'm not mistaken, during that time period. And I have to go back and look because I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it was Bernheim. I really don't think it was Bernheim. But shoot me a message on Instagram with that label front and back if you can, and I can give you a little bit of rundown on that one.
Zach, is that a Room 101?
No, it's not. It's another Ezra Zion. This one,
Zion.
I think. It was one. Let's see where. Well, it will not show. It's one of the ice cream series.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's nice. It's kind of in a medium profile. It's it doesn't really. It's not going to fight anything I'm drinking.
Right,
man. That turkey's good, man.
Oh, dude, Old Turkey is spectacular.
It's ridiculous.
Old Turkey is spectacular, but so is 12-year-old Ben Nevis from Scotch Malt Whiskey.
You know he was going to. You know what? I could have told you he was going. He was going to SMWS. I knew he was going.
I love to drink Scotch on Bourbon Stream.
Dude, the nose on this turkey is just nuts.
Is that a first bourbon fill?
Okay, so
this is like one of the weirdest things, right? So I'm just going to say this, right? Because we've talked about this quite a bit. There's nothing worse than having people say, I love Scotch, but I hate bourbon, but their favorite Scotches are first bourbon fills. It drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so good. That turkey is
Oh, it's the best, man.
I don't understand. I don't understand people who say that I only drink one or the other.
Yeah.
Because for me, I like whiskey.
Yep.
I don't care where it came from. It's interesting to find out who made it.
Yeah.
You know, what cultural influence went into their flavor profiles that they were trying to get out of the distillate. Right? I think that's really important. So it's just I
mean, that's I had that whole conversation with I was on so last Monday I was on Whiskey Lore's podcast, Drew, and that's exactly what we talked about. We kind of went down that dusty road and started talking about some stuff. He is a wealth of knowledge for anybody that does not know him. He does have I think 2 books out right now currently, if I'm not mistaken. Great guy. Has interviewed a lot of different people. But we sat and talked about, different Dusties and stories about stuff. We even chatted offline a little bit, about some of his stuff that he's looking to do, down the road. But, man, he's, again, he is a wealth of knowledge. He talked about some stuff that, I wasn't even, familiar with. So it's kind of cool because you kind of continuously learn as you kind of go down, this road about different things. And, I obviously went down a dusty rabbit hole and kind of haven't hopped out, but, it's nice to have somebody else there that kind of shares that same kind of passion as you, and then, can try to, translate some stories as well. So Sean, I didn't ask you, what are you drinking?
So I'm still on kind of my rye kick from the weekend. So I just got a little bit of Knob Creek cast strength. What is it?
Nice.
Select, I guess.
Yep.
The 115.
That's a solid pour, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Hey, Mark, what are you smoking?
I am enjoying a Dovetail from Barrel Spirits.
Oh, nice.
And smoking a Julius Caesar Robusto.
Nice.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds amazing.
It's
I'm with Dan. Yeah, sounds good.
Super classic profile as it comes to cigars.
Yes, it is.
I know, when my dad and I smoked cigars, this was years back, but 2 of them come to mind. And I think I mentioned them in chat before, but Fuente Hemingway was one. And then Opus X was another one.
Both Fuente.
Hey, listen, I have been admiring here for the last 15 minutes. If you take a look at my attire, I'm 3 layers here in Indiana, and I'm watching Zach sit outside in front of his house, got his sleeves rolled up. I'm a little bit jealous, and he's smoking a great cigar. Listen, for a better part of 10 years.
The converse side of that is whenever we get into summer and I'm out here and it's 9 o'clock and it's still like 90 degrees and I'm still sweating.
What part of the world?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where you at, Zach?
Houston, Texas.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
the land of humidity in July.
Oh yeah.
But there is some great whiskey down there, though.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
There's in Indiana, Zach. It's 32 degrees and snowing, and but I'm enjoying this cigar in your company, brother. All of you.
Hey, Zach, have you had this? Have you had this guy? This is a Texas bottle here.
I've had all of those. So actually,
cool
when we were down there for the Bastards Ball this year, we got to hand fill a bottle of that was finished in a port cask. And while I say that I'm not the biggest port fan, that Revenant Oak in that port cask was fantastic.
And so it's peated and then also finished in port? That's crazy. That sounds awesome.
So hand-filled bottle,
says, Big League Bourbon says that's exactly where he started with his dad, was the Fuente and the Opus X. It was awesome. And Peter B says almost no way to go wrong with any Fuente. Yeah, it's just like so you said, Zach, you said they're both Fuente? One's just an Opus. Okay, all right, yeah. So one's a Hemingway.
One is the standard kind of Fuente line with the Hemingway, and then the other is his kind of premium blend, which is the Opus.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
I would say about Fuente, for those that are thinking about Fuente, you should relate them to Four Roses and their 10 different.
Okay.
Because if you want to smoke a Fuente, you need to do your own research and find a stick that you like. Because there are like Four Roses, there's only 10, but with Fuente and the colors on their bands, there's 20.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yes, I wasn't sure. You know, that's kind of like rookie cigar talk, but that's. And I have a handful of cigars. I just can't. I mean, I can smoke them in here, but I'm not going to. But
smoke one of these in the house after 44 years, I'd be divorced next day.
Mark, why do you think I'm on the porch?
Chat. Well, sorry, William Hall with a $10 super chat says Sean has a bad influence. Cheers, William. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yes, Shauna is a very bad influence. Yes, she is. That's funny.
Also, cheers, Chris. Big League Bourbon. Didn't say hi earlier. So.
Chris is awesome, man.
Guys they were fairly challenging. I'll tell you, Dan didn't light up on experts. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's it was definitely an interesting blind.
So I've never had a blue run.
No, okay. I haven't.
That's best blue note.
Blue note. So that was
at Blue Note.
Or Blue Note.
Yeah. Yep.
I have had the jukebox.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's good whiskey. I mean it's 93 proof. It's good stuff.
Right.
I
have had it. I had it a long time ago with Clint.
I almost nailed that, didn't I? I said 96. I said 96.
Yeah, you were right on it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you guys did great with the challenge of that blind. You did. You really did good.
Katie Turk with a $20 super chat says, generous as always. Please give these to one of the nicest people, Mr. Big League Bourbon. Chris, you got 4 entries from Katie and Ethan Turk.
Freaking sweet.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for that, man. That's awesome.
I'm going to get Sean or Dusty Dan one of these nights to get me on here so I can be thoroughly embarrassed.
Dude, I told you. I think you were just on the live with Vic just the other day. Yeah, well, I'll get you on.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time. That's all.
Me be humble. I think it's important for my friends to know I'm very humble.
So Mark, actually, that sounds great, man. I'll have you on as well. I love hanging out with you, brother. So yeah, I'll send you a blind and we'll do it together.
Hey,
I've talked to Zach a couple times about blinds, right? Because quite honestly, Dan, this is the first blind I've ever done on stream. I've never been in a blind on stream. And but we used to talk about it. Me and Zach used to talk about, like, man, the hardest thing to do, because for those that don't know what I do, is that we spend a lot of time teaching, right? We're educators into how to taste and how to profile and that stuff. It's really hard to nose without tasting it, because you want that natural resonance to come up into your olfactory, and it's really hard to nose off the rip.
Agree.
It's much easier to nose after you drank it than it is before. So I think that's the challenging part.
Yeah, you make a great.
Makes it more fun is trying to figure that out, especially when we're fighting cigar smoke and everything else going on.
Oh no, but like even someone mentioned that. It's like, how can you guys do a blind? Anybody that's ever watched me do a blind, every blind I've ever done on YouTube, I've been smoking a cigar.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm always I'm just doing my normal thing. So for me, smoking a cigar is very normal while I'm drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
So for me to pull those flavors, it's not so much that I guess somebody that maybe that's a little newer into cigar smoke, it may influence your palate. But for us,
right,
it's kind of a normal thing for us to go through one of these and kind of taste and profile these things, because regardless if we know what the bottle is or if we don't, it doesn't matter. It's kind of wherever it takes us, that's where it takes us. We don't fight. We don't fight where our palate is kind of pointing us in a direction that night. If something's really, really good, then we continue on with that whiskey.
That's a
listen, guys, the last thing we're gonna change is to go grab another cigar.
right.
I'm not dropping this. I've only got a small pour in here. I'm gonna finish this pour and I'm just gonna pour something else. Right. So that's kind of the thing, that like when you're pairing cigars with whiskey, you're not going to change the cigar. You're going to change the whiskey.
Exactly.
So if the whiskey takes you in a different direction because of the cigar, so be it. It doesn't matter.
Well, and I'll tell you, to be honest with you, if you're new into the whiskey and cigar experience, and this ain't just a plug, it's actually just real. Wednesday night this week is probably one of the best nights to jump on, because we have Cigar 101 coming on. So he's actually, if you look him up, he's Dreamer Cigars on YouTube. Big channel. And he wanted to talk more educated about how to do tastings and how to come in and do that, and how do I add whiskey to my cigar. And so he has a whole line of questions for Zach and I on whiskey cigar pairings. How do you find that, and what do you do? And like anything, right? There's a lot of, so Dan knows, Zach knows. When I first got into this, I got in more for the idea of how to not tell you tasting notes or that kind of stuff, but how to find your notes, right? Yeah. So I taught more about how to do it, not so much what it is.
And it'll always be that way, your notes, because nobody can tell you what those are.
Yeah, because everybody has a different heritage. You have a different background. You came from a different region. So what you grew up tasting is going to be unique to you.
Yep.
So when you do that with cigars and whiskey, there's an idea and a preface behind the idea and the thought of, in order to get, so we talked about, today I was talking to Adam, who's Dreamer Cigars, almost what you'd call the ultimate pairing, right? There is a thing that's considered the ultimate pairing, because when it hits right, your whiskey gets better and your cigar elevates. They both elevate and they're both better. And you're like, whoa. And then that makes you slow way down because it's so good.
Yeah.
You're absolutely. I'll give you an example. This past Sunday, which is normally my cigar review day, I review cigars as well, have many years. So Sunday, I sat down and I tried 4 different whiskeys to match up cigar smoking. Now the cigar.
At Joe.
Cigar just put that too.
was a new release from January. I had not tried it before, so I had no comparison to that cigar and the whiskey on my shelf. It was a brand new release. So it took me 4 different whiskeys to match that up and take. And it turned out the Elijah Craig 18 matched up with it perfect. And the cigar was not that good until I found the 18. And then it turned out both of them combined was absolutely awesome. But that's what you have to do. And that's the fun part of comparing and pairing whiskeys to cigars and your palate. There are 3 different variations. They're not just 1 or 2. There are 3.
That's pretty wild, man. Because I mean, you talk about like an unlimited amount of possibilities, right? Like, honestly, but it's kind of cool though if you think about it, right? Because obviously I'm not a big cigar smoker. Yes, I've smoked cigars, but I think what the cool part about it is, like, when you do find a pairing that works so well, where it enhances not only your cigar flavor and your whiskey flavor, like, that's a win, you know? So like, that's one that you can kind of write down in the books, be like, hey, you know, this is a night we're going to do this. Like, this is what I want to pair together. But I think the experience and like the exploration of it, if you will, kind of like pairing. I mean, there's X amount of cigars and X amount of whiskey now at this point, right? So it's like there's unlimited possibilities as to what you can try, which I actually think is fascinating. So I do like that idea.
Yeah, how I have fun with that is I got a group of guys, 4 guys that I smoke cigars with, and I spend my time, not when I'm not working, I spend my time trying to pair those up so I can get together on a Saturday night, put on tunes, put something on the smoker and say, I got something I want you guys to try. Right? Right? You put them all together and you find that they're enjoying that particular stick more than they would if they didn't have the whiskey with it.
Agree.
Well, the other thing that's like the biggest benefit of it, right? And Zach and I talk about this all the time, is that you have a prolonged experience.
Agreed.
Because you really don't, you only introduce whiskey to your palate when your palate calls for it. And even then it's such a small pour that you could be doing, if you're doing whiskey and cigars, you could go 10 hours and still be perfectly sober.
Yo,
you're not really drinking much. I had a guy that was on a cover of a magazine, Yule, who's Chevalier whiskey. He got on one time on Instagram and said, hey, I'm really wanting to find a little bit of my palate and I want to pair. And we did a 3-ounce pour and a Toro cigar, and it lasted 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Damn.
Because it's one of those things, right? It prolongs your experience. So if you're going to go out with a bunch of guys, you're outside, you're going to drink all day and you don't want to get hammered, a cigar takes you to a different prolonged experience that gives you a better availability to have controlled sipping with pairing. And
cheers. Absolutely. Cheers.
So I got to ask a question. Have any of you guys on the screen or in chat ever rolled your own cigar? Have you guys ever done anything like that?
I have not rolled my own cigar, but
I actually roll it.
I have not, but I am this year.
Are you? Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been down to
not yet, but that is part of the education side of this that Bobby and I want to understand is actually how the cigar is put together. So understanding
yeah, for sure.
The nature of how that blend is kind of put together and to understand why certain things were put and the amounts that they were put in, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because so much of your binder and filler is really the majority of your flavor, and that can have an insane impact depending on what wrapper they just wrap around it.
Right. Well, the wrapper has a lot of flavor too, and then that binder. So we talk all the time, Zach, that you can comparably talk to a
that's
whiskey
like
person.
Hold on. It's dabs now. Sorry. It's dabs now.
Yeah.
It's all about the concentrate. It's not. I sound a little too knowledgeable. It's the hair, right?
But a blend is nothing more than a mash bill.
But it is.
But what Bobby just said is absolutely true. The blend is the mash bill of the cigar.
Yep.
So if we take whiskey terms and we go, oh, well, we understand this thing over here. How do we understand this other thing? Our mash bill is just the blend of how that cigar was put together.
Yep. Cam Lochner says, if anyone wants to geek out on cigars and the tobaccos that they've created, tobaccos they're created from, look up anything.
Dunbarton. Yes.
Yeah. Dunbarton Tobacco and trust down the rabbit hole you will go. Interesting. Okay.
Listen, here's something that I learned along my cigar journey 30, 40 years ago was that before a cigar, for the time it starts and it's planted, until a hand-rolled cigar is done, it will touch 5,000 hands.
What?
Yeah, think about that. I had the same reaction. What? But I researched that more and learned more and more about it. And when you look at the process of what somebody does with their whiskey, and you compare it to the process of what somebody does in blending their cigars, from maybe sometimes for example, I'm smoking a Julius Caesar tonight that comes from 3 different parts of the world. So those folks in all those parts of the world with that particular aging, drying, harvesting, all of that, 5,000 hands would have touched this cigar.
That's insane to think about.
When I think about,
but Mark, let's explain what some of that is, right? And some of
Yeah.
that is while that that tobacco is kind of set on these big kind of bales, right?
Yeah.
What's necessary? Well, they have to monitor how
Yes.
those bales are drying from bottom to top.
correct.
So they'll have to pull the burlap off, completely rotate the entire stack upside down, re-wet the burlap, and put it back up over the top.
And we're
And
talking
they'll do this
stock. That listen, we're talking
multiple times.
Yeah.
Over the life of kind of this bale of this initial fermentation. Right before it's then taken out and then hung up to dry.
So Dan, a good example of this was 2 years ago. I purchased a really, really exclusive cigar that was 34 years old.
Yeah,
34 years old, plus the making of what it became to get to that. And let me tell you, it can be as absolutely just as insane as old whiskeys.
Yeah, same thing.
That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot to think about, though.
It really is the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities
between Arturo Fuente and the National Cigar Company. It's the differentiation in the way they process their materials. The boutique brands, like what Zach is smoking tonight. Yes. Right, they get special extra attention because there are small stuff. They might deliver 900 to 1,500 to maybe 3,000 cigars, and they're delicious because they get that kind of care.
Yeah,
small. You're right. Small,
but isn't that like a true small batch whiskey?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. The run was really small because they only had X amount of this raw material.
Yeah, you're right, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Yep. Exactly.
Sean Marie says, I'm probably showing my age, but totally grew up watching that. That's really cool that you need to start a band. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat, guys.
Yeah.
No, you tell us to shut up.
Big Lee Bourbon, right? The Holiday 22 is so good. Sandeep Chima, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. Thank you so much. Cam says, yes, that Holiday 22 was mind-blowing. Wish I could have had found more than one.
Step away, get a drink.
All right.
Yeah.
Sandy. Hey, man, what's going on, Dan? Deathless Dogs is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. As I said, guys, 21090's in the house as well. But guys, there's a lot of channels in the chat. I mean, for anybody who's still in here, I mean, you got Sean down here, puts out some awesome freaking stuff, man. What's some stuff coming up on your channel real quick, man, while you're here?
So this is going to be kind of a down week.
Not to cut you off, man, but I love your content. So just pump that shit out, man. I love it. Love it.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Honestly.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be kind of a down week because this weekend I'm going to be gone with the wife. It's our anniversary. So
nice.
We're going to do a short stream Friday. Wednesday will be because 21090 challenged me, so I gotta respond to that. The only 5 whiskeys you need, that'll be Wednesday. Yep. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It'll be Saturday is that video. This Wednesday will be the Corbin Cash 8-year that David Souza from Corbin Cash sent me, which will probably make a list very soon. Spoiler. And then, the live stream Friday, which will probably be a short one so I can get up early Saturday and drive somewhere. And then no Mash and Metal stream Saturday because, we're doing other stuff. So,
yeah. That's awesome, though, guys. So, again, there's, Sean puts out some really good stuff. For those of you who haven't, subscribed, anybody in here, again, Bobby over at Bourbon Battalion. I know you said you're gonna revamp some stuff. So
yeah, we're coming back to YouTube. Zach and I are Bourbon Battalion, so it's not just me; it's Zach and I. We are combined in everything we do. It is both of us because probably one of the first people that I connected with a lot of people, but there was just Daniel Houston put us together. I always say Houston because he gets pissed because that's not his name, but I say it because I said it wrong the first time. So I just keep saying it. And back on, he's like, wow, I think you two should get together. And we got together and we found that we had a really unique
cheers, brother.
Right?
Oh, buddy.
The situation was we had similar palettes, but we had, I would not necessarily expertise, but we had a lot of experience in different areas that crossed, and it just put us both in an area of being able to talk about a lot of things because we grew from each other.
Yep. Speaking of another channel, guys, Bourbon of the Week. Chris puts out probably more content than most people that I've seen. So, Chris,
sure,
your channel has skyrocketed, my friend. Again, well deserved. You are extremely creative, man. I love you as a friend, buddy. Keep pumping that stuff out, man. So again, there's a lot of channels in here, guys. So
nice to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris is a great guy.
I've seen you, but I don't know if we've talked.
Yeah, Bourbon of the Week. He puts out a ton of content, a lot of shorts.
I know the idiot below me, but
he's great, man. He's great. Hey, Sean, I meant to ask you.
That's like a terminal. Sean, that's a deer.
Also, it's accurate, Bobby. So
that's just straight love.
But Sean, how far away from you are you from Loretta, Kentucky?
Loretta. I'd have to Google Maps it. I'm not sure.
All right,
I have to ask this, Sean. Do you actually remember the first time I met you? Because I called you the wrong name.
Okay, so I remember that part.
Oh, you just remember.
But I do not remember when it was, Zach.
You remember what I called you, though, don't you?
Roughly.
Come on.
Remind me.
Come on. I called you Grease.
Ah! Oh!
Oh my God!
You know what? I will take it. I'll take it.
Okay, that's good.
Eric.
Good.
Eric,
everybody hounded me like it was a big joke, and I just played it off.
As long as you didn't call me Reaper, then we're good.
Eric, what do you got in your glass, bud?
I got a rare character that Mash and Journey picked from a while back.
Okay.
Did
you crack that the Heaven Hill yet, the 14-year?
No, I didn't.
Thank God it didn't. Your top didn't pop, right?
Oh no, it transferred fine.
Eric and I were so nervous, man, when we were flying. we were flying. We're like, yeah, we probably, because it was a screw top on the Heaven Hill Select stock. And we were like, you know what, we may want to. We should have wrapped that with the parafilm, but we were on the plane and we were on the plane flying back, and he lifted up his bottle of water and it was all like sucked in, and he was like, yeah, that's from the pressure. And I was like, oh shit, I wonder what happened to our bottles down in the freaking bags. Like I'm thinking they probably just burst it everywhere, but luckily enough, the screw tops actually stayed on. So,
hey,
so
Eric,
let me
share some whiskey travel knowledge. If you don't know this, if you happen to be buying a bunch of whiskey and you have a whiskey, let's say that you're at your local distillery and say, hey, can you give me a box to pack this in? And you put that in a box that has the separators in it, and you tape that box, you can put that as a check bag. It does not have to be in a suitcase. It can literally be just in a cardboard box. I do 3 to 4 of them every time I travel. You can literally check them as a check bag, and they'll put them as fragile and glass, and you can put them in there, and they'll ship them as just regular check bags.
That's good note.
That's man, because you see how they handle them bags at the airport. Just like,
yeah, you are not.
Shit.
So I actually was one of those guys for a short time, so I know exactly how those bags get handled.
Yeah, you don't put them in your suitcase. Just have your distillery give you a box and put all your different bottles in there, and then box it as that, and they will let you use that as a check bag.
Yeah, interesting.
It doesn't have to be a bag.
So fun fact about baggage handling. When I was in that job, whatever you want to call it, it's hardly a job. We made it a goal to see if we could throw it from the entrance of the plane, which is at the back of the plane, to the front of the plane in one throw. So that was the goal. So whoever could make it from back to front in one throw, you won the game. So that was always.
Oh my God, it's crazy to hear, man.
But you don't throw the cardboard boxes that say fragile.
Definitely not. We definitely we never did that ever.
In fact, Bobby, they probably threw those
12 years.
short
I've
on
done
purpose.
this. 12 years, and I've never even had a bent edge on a box.
Yeah.
You must fly a very good airline.
Yeah, I don't fly the shit that you're at. Listen, not everybody flies Spirit.
Yeah.
Actually, so I probably shouldn't say this on air, but it was United that I worked for.
Where were you out of?
Florida at the time.
Oh yeah, no one flies Florida. I mean, Florida's yeah. No one
My
cares
wife
about
flew a
Florida.
bottle of Jack Daniels Coy Hill home. Oh my God, big no. Oh shit, I don't even want to know.
All I have to say is if there's anyone out there that is ever thought about joining the SMWS and you ask yourself, you said, is it worth it?
Yes.
You have to ask yourself, well, okay. You look at how much everybody's spending on these bourbon bottles lately, right?
They have gone up significantly.
I mean, dude, when they do a thing like this and they say, "Hey, free shipping," because let me tell you what, the worst thing about the SMWS USA is the cost of their shipping. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. You gotta order like 3 bottles to even make it worth it. But when they do a thing, and you can get a 12-year-old Ben Nevis in a first fill bourbon barrel for $130, and you're like, yes. I know everybody here loves their bourbon. Okay.
It's true. Yeah.
Guys, you don't get names like I hope you like jamming too. You don't get Bob Marley references on bourbon bottles, okay? You only get those on Scotch bottles. So FYI. That's all I got to say.
Joe Gray says,
everybody
or you can drive and bring back.
Honestly, Zach, that felt like a very bourbon kind of tater sticker. But
but hey, we'll echo something.
Hold on. But it's very classy, though, right? There's no.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
The sticker's there, but it doesn't feel like a sticker. It feels like a label.
I'm sorry, Dan. We cut you off. Continue.
No, you're good. Richie Z says SWMS is worth it, but pricey. Joe Graves says, what's the SW or SMWS and how do I subscribe?
Malt Whiskey Society of America, smwsa.com.
And I'm going to throw something out there for the bourbon lovers. If you may or may not have, I'm guessing you probably didn't, but there was Scott from SMWS ran a bracket.
Yep.
The majority of the bracket were bourbon people, and the guy that won it was Jason Calori.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be down.
Bourbon Junkies was on it. You had a lot of major bourbon channels on there because what Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is doing is incredibly good. And if you would have watched the bracket, half of the bracket was bourbon channels.
Well,
so
but also let's take it. Let's call it what it is. It's single barreled Scotch.
Yeah.
So we all know what single barrel bourbon is, but we don't necessarily know what single barreled Scotch is. Single barreled Scotch basically gets identified as single barreled under. I wish. Listen, please don't do that because I don't want you to not get 10%. If I can contact Ben Dietrich, and actually make that happen, I would love for you guys to get 10% off. Hell, you know what? I would just love for you guys to get because listen, guys, it is a subscription kind of a service.
Hey Zach, throw a sample in the chat. Throw a sample in for the chat. Let someone win a sample. It's not like you don't have one.
I listen. I can do that, and here's what I'll do. I'll let them contact me and tell me what kind of scotch they want.
All right.
I won't put a random. I won't put a random sample out there. I'll allow them, man, if they want peated, if
I want it to taste like tar and hate.
got it. Got it. Oh, I've got it. I've got some Kalilas. I've got some Kalilas out there that are so freaking spicy, but have so
all
much
about
brine and like lobster shells and all these other crazy notes.
Okay, I want the lobster shells. You kind of lost me on the lobster shell thing, but
on the other hand, real quick, this Jack Daniel's 12-year nose, I haven't tasted it yet, is freaking ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie.
What's the proof?
Dan, if somebody wants to win a SMWS sample, I'll listen, guys. I've got 65 different bottles of SMWS that you get to choose from.
Yeah,
107 proof, Bobby. 107.
Nice.
I've got some profiles out there. And maybe if you're really, really nice and you talk to me really, really nice,
Joe.
I may think about the sample of the 28-year-old Glen Scotia. I don't know. That's a $700 bottle, but hey, listen, you know what? If you talk to me really nice, it may happen.
I think Zach just got me harder than a diamond in an ice storm right now. But
I'll tell you what. Have you guys seen that? Have you ever seen the meme out there where the girl brings the boy home and everybody starts twirling their hair?
Yeah,
that's that. Start twirling your hair.
So Zach, if you're good,
cheers, fellas.
Zach, if you're good, I mean, if you're fine with it, I'll put down a sample from you from the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. That's fine. If you're good with it,
go with it.
Cool. We can probably do the giveaways, guys. We'll pull it at 10 to 15. So another 4 minutes for any super chats, last minute super chats want to come in. So tonight we got a old Granddad 114 from 1988. Nice. The Elijah Craig barrel proof picks from Barrels for Hope. The Jack Daniel's 10 and 12, which I'm about to sip on. The Parker's Heritage double barreled. The old Oscar Pepper pre-prohibition. It's a pint, which I am almost out of. The Boone County 1833 from Bobby. 1952 Old Taylor, which I just cracked when I got back from Kentucky. 1955 Cream of Kentucky. And then the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society pick from Zach. That is what you guys are winning tonight. Shauna Marie, by the way, says you had me at lobster shells. That's amazing. I think she's actually up north. I think close. Yeah. I can't remember where she said she was. I thought she said Maine, and then maybe moving back down to Virginia or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But Eric, that wild turkey is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
That wild turkey is fantastic. It was absolutely phenomenal, man. That was it was such a treat to go back to that 1989, and I crushed it. I mean, I finished the whole thing. So thank you for that again. So Eric, Eric was with me when we went down for the Barrels for Hope pick. We had a blast. It was actually his. It was your first barrel pick. We went down, went to Heaven Hill. He thieved the barrel. We did the You Do Bourbon tour. He hopped in there, fucking, did all the pulling the levers and shit. So it was awesome, man. It was such a good experience, and I'm glad, I was able to take you down there, and I'm glad we had a good time. I know there was some late nights that you and I were up and had a good time, going out and drinking some bottles. So I will tell you this: we had a tour at Lux Row that both of us were not able to attend in the morning after a certain night.
What could have happened? I wonder.
We didn't have cigars.
We couldn't make it. Now, it's crazy, man, because like downtown Bardstown is not what you think it is.
I go there all the time now.
It's not like it's like there's not much kind of going on. Now, when you go to downtown Louisville, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff going down there, but like Bardstown is like, well, wait a minute. So I mean, him and I were kind of looking up like what's the hot spots, what's the what's going on, and so we kind of found probably the most happening place that night that we were there anyway, which is pretty cool. I mean, we had a great time, live music and all that kind of stuff, and we got into some. I mean, we had some whiskey, obviously, all morning and afternoon, and the night we got into some barrel aged beer and more whiskey, and I don't even. Yeah, I mean, one thing led to another, and then there was a group of guys when we got back to the hotel, and we had a bottle meetup, and him and I were kind of like, Eric and I were kind of texting back and forth about some of these guys, and I don't remember going upstairs. I don't remember a lot, but so, yeah, it was interesting, but had a really good time.
Does that sound familiar?
I've only missed one flight ever in my life of flying on planes.
Okay, Sean is on the North Shore. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and the Bastard 2 years ago at the Bastards Ball, Zach and I, the first flight I ever missed in my life. Like,
guys, cheers to all you guys really quick for being on. I'm going to take a sip of the Jack 12, let you know what I think. Cheers, Eric, Sean, Mark, Zach, Bobby. Cheers. Cheers, everybody in chat.
Cheers,
thanks for being here tonight, guys. We're going to go ahead and get ready to get into this giveaway here right now.
All right.
Well, there's a fact on Whiskey Tube here that needs to be said, especially since the beginning and at Madness. Ooh. There is a whole lot of love from a lot of people for Eric Dismaris. No doubt.
Hell yeah.
I said that. Me being one of them.
Hell yeah.
So he'd send me some fucking samples.
There you go. Slow brown nose a little bit and just see what happens.
I won't get any samples, but I'll still love Eric.
Absolutely. That's funny.
Cheers, Eric.
Great little quiet town. Yeah, I mean, it was. We went to two different places. One of them was kind of like a speakeasy type thing.
Yeah.
And then we went to another one. We had some amazing pizza. I don't remember where the hell we went, but it was freaking amazing. Great pizza. And then we went to a little speakeasy place. And then we went to the bar that kind of had like the most kind of things going on. And
do you remember if the pizza was good or was it just like really good at that moment?
No, it was good pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm asking you, Eric, because I'm guessing Dan don't remember. He just knows it fit did what it needed to do.
Eric, do you happen to remember where the pizza was? Because I have a feeling, but I'm curious.
Was that Market Street that we were on? Am I making that up?
Market Street is where that's where we went to Carter's. Market Street.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm drawing a blank, man. I don't know.
I feel like it was called like Napoli's or something like that.
Okay.
It was right by the bar that we were at. I mean, it was a couple doors down.
Yeah.
They do pretty decent pizza. Bardstown is one of my favorite towns in Kentucky.
Pretty kind of thin crust, kind of crusty kind of bottom. I mean, it was pretty good pizza. I mean, to be honest with you. So
I can tell you right now, Bardstown does the best VIP tour on the market. Period.
Yeah, we did go to the Blind Pig, but they were actually closed. It was like 6:30. It's 6:30 in the evening. Went to the Blind Pig, and it was just like, "There's lights are off, like done." Like, what? Wait a minute now.
Yeah,
they had a lot of nice bottles there.
That's near the square, right? Downtown Bardstown.
Yeah.
Downtown Bardstown closed down early. Yeah, they're
super early.
Old school Kentucky town there.
You're right.
Like, remembers the food on his trip. I mean, the ham sandwich is the best ham sandwich I've ever had. Willis got a great egg salad sandwich. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
I'm laughing at friggin' Ben's comment. that place is an experience. There's no doubt about it.
Even Foster's restaurant.
You just have to go and experience it. It's not the best food in town. It's not even close. But yeah, it's worth a trip.
Hey,
Rick,
one of
you
the
see,
best
we got, all right, guys.
we got Lexington is OBC Kitchen, and it's in a strip mall.
Strip mall.
OBC Kitchen is where you want to go in Lexington, and it's in a strip mall. And it
when Eric and I, when we were in downtown Louisville, like I said, we met up. We went to I'll say this: him and I had more food in the amount of 3 hours that I probably had the entire trip. I mean, we went down there. We went to Merrill's.
Yes, Merrill's. I love Whiskey Kitchen.
Yeah, we had some food. Well, actually, wait, didn't we
Merrill's,
eat?
That's in Louisville.
We ate at White Castle first.
We ate at White Castle.
That's a poor choice.
This is what replaced our Lux Row experience was White Castle. So we're all kind of
that had to have made the whiskey taste much better.
We're all fucked up in the morning, so we catch a $130 taxi ride to fucking from Bardstown to Louisville, right? Number one, and then we're like, where should we eat? And we were like, White Castle. It was like Harold and Kumar, right?
We only had like 30 minutes though. We would have eaten elsewhere, but we had an appointment at Old Carter.
Only not nearly as gratifying as Harold.
No, not at all. So we go there, and we're trying to get the food down as best we can, and we're both like, oh, this is great. It's hitting the spot. And there's a guy in there like preaching to the freaking Lord. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I asked Eric, I was like, is he on the phone, or is it just like, are we in like the hood? Like, what's going on? And,
that's what White Castle's all about.
He's got a cowboy hat on. And he's like looking out the window, and we're like, I mean, he's preaching all kinds of shit, right? And
4 gold rings on his finger. I thought he was a pimp.
Oh,
he was 100% a pimp. And we're trying to get this food down because we have somewhere to be, at Old Carter. And
I'm sorry, a pimp was preaching? Is that what I said?
Oh yeah,
he looked like a pimp, like straight up.
Hat, dress clothes, rings on his finger, like 100%. Like he was, he had something.
Definitely the most qualified person to talk about Jesus. Continue with the story.
And so we finished White Castle, and we head over to Old Carter, and at this point, I messaged Sherry not that long before, and I didn't get a response, but she knew I was going to be down there, and I call, and this guy Brian's there, so I get the bottle, and I remember Eric being like, "Well, this is kind of weird." I forget what the words were, but it was like we were hoping to meet Sherry and all that kind of stuff, and
it was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was like open the door and pass out a bottle, and like.
We didn't even get to go inside, and and all that jazz.
But, can we be honest though? Mark and Sherry are some of the most accommodating people that don't have to be accommodating,
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I went down to Louisville because I was heading down to Bardstown to do like business stuff, and I went down the night before, and I got a hold of Mark and Sherry.
Yep.
And Mark said, "Yeah, let's meet up," and we did. We went out. We met, we had a couple of drinks, then we went into Old Carter. We just sat and talked. And we ended up talking about our kids and our family and sipping and talking. And I'm just saying that, they are
100%
the most accommodating, nice people you'll ever meet.
But real quick, I do want to shout out Nathan over the Everyday Drinker guys. Again, another channel that pumps out content. Nathan's a great guy. I do plan on having him on the channel to do a blind challenge. So, again, he pumps out content nonstop, just skyrocketing with subs. So make sure you guys head over there and give him a sub. Watch his stuff, good stuff, great guy. Plan on having
finger the camera just right; it'll focus on you.
Yeah, I'm just going straight to like him.
So we go to Merrill's and we're having some food again right after White Castle, like 30 minutes after White Castle. We're like, okay, let's have a drink and some food. So we get like nachos and a fucking taco each, right? And then I text Sherry. Finally reads my message, and then I text her, and I didn't even know I had her number. Apparently I did. I texted her before. I just don't remember. So I text Sherry, and she's like, "Yeah, come on by him in the studio." And I'm like, "Well, shit, Brian just said you're not there. Like, what the fuck's going on, right?" So we go back, and we meet up with Sherry, and we go upstairs to her art studio. She's up there working on artwork for something. Can't really say on the chat live, but she's working on something for the chat for her thing going on. But we're up there, and this guy Jay is there, and he works for the company as well, bottling the line, and
there's
a lot of stuff for him. It's his birthday, so I share the rest of this bottle of a 1937 Shinley that I have, because I couldn't fly back with it because it's already drank down, so it's like super low. So we're sitting up there, and I mean, she just kind of takes us on a tour of the second level of where her studio, and it's like an 1800s border house, basically. It's amazing. I mean, just to kind of look inside there, and like there's this huge kind of like skylight open area where light kind of shines down, old glass. Like it's really, really cool. And she's kind of up there working and doing this stuff. She's like, "Don't mind me. I'm going to work while we're sitting, sipping on this stuff." And we pass out some whiskey, and she's sitting here taking notes in this book. And I remember Eric's like, "She's sitting down here taking notes on this old ass bourbon." I was like, "She does this all the time, man. She has her notebook and she opens it up, writes notes and stuff." And so I mean, we had a really good time with Sherry and Jay from Old Carter, and then kind of wrapped it up with them, and then we went to Doc Crow's, which was right across the street, right by Brown Foreman. Yep. Sat over there for what seemed like a while, and we had some whiskey, and we had more food. right after we just got done eating over at Merrill's, we had some more food. It was kind of hard to get the food down and the whiskey down, but it's a crazy story, man. So like we saw this guy on an airplane, and Eric was kind of Eric, were you sitting next to him, right?
No, they were sitting across the aisle from us.
Yeah,
and we saw this guy 3 different times.
Yeah,
throughout the trip in Bardstown and then in Louisville. It was just insane. Like. And to cap it all off, then they come and get seated at the table next to us.
Right next to us. Yeah, they were at it was on the plane, and then at Heaven Hill when we were there, they were there for the I guess some kind of experience. We're like, this is kind of weird. We just saw them guys. And then we go to Doc Crow's, and they sit right next to us. And I come out of the bathroom, and I just see Eric smiling, a big ass grin on his face, and I kind of glance my eyes over a little bit, and it's the guy, and I just start smiling right away. I'm like, this is fucking weird, man. Like, what the fuck is going on here right now? And same guy from the flight from Heaven Hill to sitting there right next to us at Doc.
I think we saw him at Bardstown too.
Like, did we see him at Bardstown?
We saw him 3 different times, other than the plane.
Oh my god! I didn't even know we saw him at Bardstown. I had no idea. I didn't see that.
Unmistakable. You can no one else this guy could be like.
Oh shit. And then finally, I mean, we get to we get done, and we catch a cab or Uber or whatever to the airport, and then finally just kind of beat around. And I know we sat around and we're like, that pizza looked really good sitting over there at the airport. We're like, no, man, like there's no way we can eat friggin' any more right now. But no, it was a lot of fun. I know there's probably some people here, guys, that want to hop out of the chat. So let me go ahead and get this giveaway done.
Yep.
Whiskey Pimp says, did someone say pimp? Yes, indeed. Whiskey Pimp. Yes, there was a pimp. I'm sorry, guys. I just totally wanted to tag along.
If you guys haven't subscribed yet, head on over to Whiskey Pimp and give him a subscribe.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah.
Nathan, yes, buddy. I'm going to have you on the channel again. I don't know if it's going to be in April or if it's going to be in May. I do have a lot kind of going on with some people in distilleries. I will have you on, Nathan. I want to have you on. I love your stuff. Love what you do. Love the content that you push. So I do want to have you on, my friend. Look who else is joining us right now. What? Big Sexy in the house. What's up, buddy?
Look at that sexy son of a bitch.
What's going on, man?
Sexy, hairy, something like that.
There you go. You got
not as much hair as it used to be.
Yeah, I know. They cut too much off. It'll get back there.
So real quick, guys, I do want to get through this giveaway here. It's 10:30 now. We do have a handful of giveaways to give away. Richie Z, let me know you're good to go, buddy, and we'll go ahead and get this thing started off here.
What is up, Big Sexy?
How you doing?
How are you doing, Ben?
Zach, this egg and North Star Rare Leaf never gets bad, ever.
Awesome.
It's the best, one of the best cigars I've ever had.
Peter B says, now it's a party. Here we go, buddy. All right, guys. So we got numbers 1 through 50, 1 through 50. As guests tonight on the channel, we'll go ahead and start with Zach. Sorry. Zach, if you want to go ahead and pull a number 1 through 50, this is actually going to be for your giveaway of the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society pick.
We'll go right in the middle. 25.
25. Richie's
25. Number 25.
25 is going to be for a sample of the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society pick. You'll have to, I guess, maybe reach out to me, and I'll get, Zach, I'll get your contact info, something. We'll figure something out. This will be from a pick from Zach, guys. Zach Andrews, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society pick. Ben, what you drinking, brother?
Hi, Ben.
First pour of the night. I'm starting with my my warm up until Friday night, which is an old Knob Creek 9.
I'm telling you, man, that is one of the most underrated freaking value pours on the freaking market, hands down. Period. Done.
Hey, look. Hi to Ben. Hi, Ben.
25.
Hi, Mark.
Number 25.
Eric Gunderson with the $20 super chat. Eric, good to see you, man. Cheers, everybody. Sorry, I'm like all good, buddy. Glad you're here, though. Top dog, good night. See you on the next one. Cheers, John.
Look who won.
Eric Damaris. Eric.
That's it. Yeah.
You get a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society
sweet
pick. So I'll reach out to Zach, and we can get something going on.
Not only that, Eric, but you get to talk to him about what you want.
Yeah.
You got to, I was surprised he didn't pick the number.
One second, guys. Hold on 1 second.
That's good, man.
It's been a day, let me tell you.
Whoops. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. Whoopsie. There we go. Okay.
I just cracked this guy.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, the Buzzard's Roost. Yeah, that was a bottle actually down there in
Rye, Eric?
Yeah, it's a cigar rye.
Yeah.
Look, I hadn't found it.
That's Eric. That's always like a weird thing to me, right? And like, so the conversation I've had back and forth with a couple people, one in particular, is so for Mark and Zach and me or anybody that's cigar guys, that's such a big label for a very non-narrowed thought, right? Like, because to say cigar, you're talking about cigars can be as different a blend as a mash bill can be. I'm always interested when someone says cigar, are they just going with the idea that it has like a cognac finish, or are they going with the idea that they have a reference based on a cigar profile, or what kind of tobacco profile do they have?
Bobby, you know the answer to that. And
Yeah.
the answer is, besides one specific blender, it's just marketing that it's cognac.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Right. And, well, I do, but I was not doing that, Zach. I was being, or Ben, I was being like really like nice, because we've all talked about this, right? For cigars, right? I want to know more. Like, what is your background in pipe tobacco? Is it in, old like Swisher Sweets, or is it on like real cigars, or I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it.
How about some black and mild?
I mean, there could definitely be a lot of variables to it. I know, like,
there's as many variables, Dan, as me saying, "Hey, this is a really good whiskey." Like, well, what's your profile?
Yeah, I mean, I see. I definitely see what you're saying for sure. I mean, and that's kind of the weird thing with the cigar bashes is like, I mean, I really haven't personally had enough to say, hey, like, this is, right. I mean, this tastes like maybe it's trying to gear towards this profile, or this is kind of, gear towards this profile. But like, I know from the few that I've had, right? Like, if you taste like a Joseph Magnus cigar batch, but then you taste like it's something from like an Aburana finish, and then you taste something from like a Buzzard's Roost cigar batch that I've had a sample of, it all kind of tastes a little different. So I don't know if it's
right.
I
the
don't know,
Aburana, right? The Aburana is really weird, right? Because I've had a couple of the Aburana finishes.
Yeah,
I was going to say
the Brazilian, and those finishes to me, literally every single time, me, Zach, I think the Gunny, we've all done this, and we all came out with the same thing. It has a note of copper tone tanning, like very like a tanning oil.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's total marketing, because if anybody's drank Amberana, the last thing you think is this is going to complement the cigar.
Yeah, because
it's an absolute palate and nose destroyer.
Yeah, I had
a compliment like an apple pie or a Cinnabon.
Right.
Right.
No, but it was all you got.
It was a Starlight cigar batch finished in Aburana barrels.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the first fill, second, third, fourth. I don't know any of that. But I know there's a lot of people that were fans of it the night that we were down in Kentucky. I guess they never had they never tasted something like that before. But
I agree, Dan. I think the thing is like, we're always intrigued as whiskey community into something different, right?
Yes.
What is this different? Because it makes you like to explore, right? It makes you think in your brain. You have to explore. Is this banana? Is this like coconut? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. In my experience in pairing these whiskeys with this cigar, for example, tonight I'm smoking a Julius Caesar, which is a heavy cigar. In other words, it's strong, it's full bodied, it's full smoke. It doesn't always go best with a cognac. Frankly, it go best with a toasted Elijah Craig 94 proof.
Well, if you're talking about a heavy dark Maduro and Nicaraguan and that stuff, it's going to pair better with a rye.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go to the Scotch side of the house.
Yeah, so
you're going to go into different realms of the Scotch. So me and Zach have both found that like the darker, thicker, more bold, which you're talking about Maduro wrappers with Nicaraguan blends and like really rich. If it's a Nicaraguan Maduro, it's not going to play well with bourbon. It's going to be like a rye or a Scotch, and even then you're getting
you're speaking to my point. The point is. It's not about the whiskey as much as it is about the cigar. You got to move the whiskey around to find what suits your palates on the cigar, just like you said earlier. Same thing. You don't know what
wants to pick a number.
So a variety
My number is my number, Dan.
No, I think Dan wants to pick a number.
No, not me. I'm actually going to go to Bobby now because I got Zach, and as a guest on the show, I'm going to go ahead and say Bobby. It's going to be 1 through. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Hold on.
I can pick Bobby's number for him.
Hold on. I'm waiting to hear back from Boss Man here. 1 through 53. 1 through 53.
42.
Yeah.
42. Richie's 42. Guys, this is going to be for the sample from Bobby. 1833 Boone County from Bobby.
To Daddy.
Peter B. really quick says cigars have filler wrappers from so many different countries, just like age, mash bill, and cigars. So much variety. William Hall says I used to put brandy in my Copenhagen. Does that count?
Yes, it does. It's nasty, but it does count.
If it tastes, it's good.
So I'll tell you what's interesting about this Buzzards Roost. What they actually do is they like light tobacco leaves like inside the barrel.
Yeah.
And to me, this isn't like a whiskey that you would pair with a cigar. It actually has the most tobacco that I've ever had come through a whiskey, like especially on like the back of like the mid palate to the finish is very tobacco forward at that
Where
point.
can I find that?
I mean, I found it at
Bobby,
Evergreen Liquors in Kentucky, but
bring it.
Can you find it, Ben?
No, but I have a bottle.
All right. Well, we'll exchange samples. I'll give you 1833.
I don't know. I still need to know when you're going to be around.
Well, I'm around at the house. I'm around. We can work that out, Ben.
Oh yeah,
Ben, you can. You know what would be really good? You can come down. Like, we'll talk.
I got to talk to you.
Yeah.
What was Richie? What was you said number 42, right? Bobby.
42.
42. Richie Z. 42 is going to be for a sample of
the 1833
Boone County 1833, number 42.
Which was their first drop, right? Like, so this is actually really, really good. And Ben knows what this is, right? Because it was really weird. I bought it back when the Gunny told me to buy them.
Gunny.
We drank some of them. And I literally just had it on the shelf one day, and Whack had a bottle crack night. And I was like, oh, well, I look back and I hadn't cracked that bottle. It's like, okay, I'll crack this. And I literally in my chat got I got a text from Ben like, no.
Guys, honestly, I think
I wasn't there.
anybody who has this Jack 12, this is great.
So it's worth finding.
Yeah, let's hear about that a little bit, Dan.
I mean, it is very. Obviously, it kind of has that Tennessee vibe to it, but the viscosity on this thing and like the distinct flavors on the profile, like the flavors on the profile are just like
just for you, Ben.
Boom! I'm right here in your face. Like it's not like these subtle kind of tones of fruitiness. That there's definitely a fruitiness on this one. Being a Tennessee whiskey, right? Bourbon, okay, whatever. Which is true, by the way. But it has a different kind of there's like different layers to this one. The nose very much matches the palate. But there again, there's a lot of kind of creaminess and viscosity to it. There's some pitted fruitiness. It almost reminds you a little bit, very, very little bit of Dickel. Not like super Dickel forward, but it has some of those fruity vibes to it. But then it gets into this like little slight hint of like char, little bit of like some maple syrup going towards the back. That's great. That is fantastic. I don't want to drink it all because I know I got a sample to give out, but that's really good.
William Hall.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah, William Hall winning
it. William Hall wins the sample of Bobby. That's from your 1833 Boone County. That's awesome.
How do you like that bottle, Ben?
Get a hold of Dan, and Dan knows how to get a hold of me. Give him his information.
Yep, I got you. Will, if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews, or you can shoot me an email, Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews.
I'm drinking that right now, and it's every bit as good as I ever remember it being.
Yep. I'm sorry. My email is dustydansreviews@gmail.com. dustydansreviews@gmail.com. I'm sorry. Just reach out to me either way, Instagram or email, and I can get you that information. All right, so real quick, so we're going to go ahead and do the samples of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Pick. So this is, again, the first one that we picked, our barrel was 118.6, Warehouse H Floor 3, and then the double barrel that we were able to obtain was the 133.5 proof.
Wow.
Warehouse V as in Victor, Floor 6.
Nice.
So 1 through 52, William Hall. If you want to go ahead and give us a number 1 through 52, this is going to be for a sample of both of these Elijah Craig barrel pick Elijah Craig barrel proof pick.
Sounds like it's time for a White Castle
barrel
burger.
You're getting this prick.
Eric, it's time for him to get a White Castle. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Time for White Castle, man.
I can't wait to taste those again, though.
Ben, this is so good. This is so good.
Fuck you, Bobby.
Yes, William, you are picking 1 through 52. Any number 1 through 52, that is going to be for the two samples of the Elijah Craig.
Hey, Bobby, remember who still got your cigar blend?
What's that?
I said, remember who still got your cigar blend?
I know, I'm waiting for it, but we'll talk. Now you're gonna, you've had this though. You had this.
Oh no, I love it. That's why I love it.
Yeah, you've tried it. 16.
Number 16, Richie Z.
Man, that shit's good. I mean, I haven't had it since we had it, Ben.
There you go, Bobby. You talked about the weeded Bardstown. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this thing off.
Dude, that shit is the best weeded bourbon
I
have had.
We were able to try it at Bardstown.
Their cask, out of the cask is amazing.
Oh God, it's unreal. I think he said was 116 proof.
So the cool thing is, right? There's some cool shit that's happening with Bardstown, right? They're getting ready to drop some barrel proof stuff.
Cam Walker.
So they're doing some barrel proof drops at like the $50 to $60 range. That's coming out soon.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
just for people who don't know, we're talking with someone at Bardstown.
Yeah.
And over the next X amount of years, I don't think it's very many, but they're looking to drop 14 more warehouses over at Bardstown Bourbon Company.
It's like 3 years.
More, which will give them a 1 million barrel count, basically.
Yeah.
1 million barrels will be sitting over at
If you've never been there and done their tour, they are the most, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating, the most transparent of anybody out there. If you're walking in anywhere, there's whiteboards up there, they'll walk over and show you the whiteboard. What is this? What is this? What is this?
Yep.
And me and Zach have talked, we have Ron Miles on a lot of times on Instagram. And
love Ron. Ron's great, man.
Ron's a good dude.
He's a great dude.
And, Bardstown's, they're transparent on their bottles and they're transparent in the distillery. And I wish everybody was as transparent as Bardstown.
Yeah, I agree. Again, that's it's crazy to think. And check this out, right? So hopefully I can say this on YouTube, but we were talking with someone again, and they said in order to contract distill with Bardstown Bourbon Company, number one, not only do you have to clear financially, right? But number two, you have to wait 12 years to be able to be put on the list to contract distill with Bardstown Bourbon Company. 12 years.
Yeah.
12.
Well, they do a lot of stuff for people, but they don't always necessarily give an opportunity for everybody to use their stuff. It takes time. So there's a lot of people that comes in like April 1st, I think in 24 states, April 1st is going to drop Green River, which is Owensboro, which is the KYP DS 12, right? 10, right?
Yeah.
The 10th oldest distillery out there.
Yep.
And that is the best budget bourbon in the market.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
They're about to come out with the Weeded Bobbin too. Weeded Bobbin. Oh my God. I'm mixing your name up with bourbon now. Oh my God.
Weeded Bobbin bourbon.
I don't think I had that much to drink yet. Jesus Christ.
Right.
The Weeded Bourbon, Bobby.
Yeah, the Weeded Bobbin.
Jesus.
Yeah. The Weeded Bobbin. That's good shit.
The Weeded Bobbin. Congrats, Cam. Hoorah, brother. You win the it's kind of crazy, right? Cam gave up his spot in the Barrels for Hope because they didn't ship to Indiana. It's funny enough that he won
Can I grab that, Dan?
barrel proof picks. So
can I grab that?
What's that?
What he gave up?
I think it's already taken for, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But Cam Lochner, congrats, man. You get a sample of each one of the Elijah Craig barrel proof picks that we did for Barrels for Hope. Richie said, Richie, so it's 1 through 51. Cam Lochner says number 49. 49 is Joe Graves. Joe Graves, that is for the sample of the Jack Daniels 10 and 12. Congratulations. You get a sample of the Jack Daniels 10 and 12. Joe Graves. Congrats.
Hey, Richie, I know you have my number. Text me. Just text me. I want to reach out to you later.
Joe Graves, so I imagine you're going to be 1 through 48. Your number is going to be 1 through 48. Guys, this one is going to be for the Parker's Heritage Double Barrel.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Parker's Heritage Double Barrel. This is going to be for a sample of that. Joe Graves, 1 through 48.
So
guys, what are y'all drinking? Ben, are you still drinking the same thing?
Who?
Ben.
No, I'm drinking hardcore.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Ben, let's get a Dusty in that glass. What do you want to drink?
I gotta get another glass then.
Mark, what are you drinking? Mark Mace, what you got?
I'll get a Dusty in my glass.
All right, let's do it.
All right, what are we gonna?
I have Austin Nichols.
I don't know. I just had dinner. I don't
Heaven
know
Hill,
if I don't know if I want to do old turkey.
Sean, what do you got in your glass right now, bud?
Got a little bit of this guy right here, the Corbin Cash 90 proof. Yeah,
Nice,
good
stuff.
Yeah, it is the Merced Rye. Yeah.
I haven't tried that yet. Eric, what do you got?
13th Colony of the Double Oak.
Whoo! Okay.
So Dan, I actually have an idea for a streamer I want to talk to you about about Dusty's. So,
All right.
but,
Zach.
I'm trying to think. What do I have that's decanted right now?
He's still SMWS.
Okay. Enjoying it?
You're muted.
I didn't
Whoops.
mute him now.
Sorry.
All right,
No, I've had a bunch of airplanes that fly over because I've got a small airport that is right near the house. So, no, this is called this is a 12-year-old Ben Nevis called I Hope You Like Jammin' Too.
If you like jamming too.
Nice Bob Marley.
Bob Marley, yeah, yep.
So Dan, hey
What
Dan,
are you drinking on?
Dan, do you propose we all pull a Dusty? Is that what you propose?
I mean, if you guys have something old, man, we can toast to that. That's fine. If you do, if you don't, that's fine too. You know.
Well, let me start off.
Huh?
Let me start off. I got
All
a
right,
Dusty.
what we got? He's leaving his chair. Here we go. Number 40, Medium Ugly. Medium Ugly wins the
Nice.
San
Congrats, Medium Ugly.
The original Elijah Craig, 2013.
Oh,
There you go, buddy.
that
Oh,
is
my
a
goodness.
fantastic
That's
bottle.
That's number
I mean,
one.
It's in Dan's world. That's not a Dusty, but it's
Oh,
like,
sure. Yeah, that's up there. That's up there.
oh,
But-
Listen, that was Zach's favorite ever. So
it's
Gunny-
delicious. I've had it. I'm not
But
saying that,
Hell
the Gunnies sent that to Zach.
but I'm saying, what was that, like 2012, 2011?
13, I think.
2013.
Yeah, I know it's in that range.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, 2000.
generally say if it's not like
Yeah,
but
in the
that was-
90s
that
or
was
older, you don't
delicious.
consider it Dusty.
That was delicious.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm gonna
in
do this
technical
guy.
terms. I mean, in
But
technical
it
terms,
is delicious. There's no
Yeah,
doubt about it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
It was
I've got
the best-
Dusty.
that's
I
the
mean,
best
if you want to call that a
ECPD ever
Dusty,
dropped.
I've got Dusty.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
best DCP ever dropped was batch 1.
Oh yeah.
So I have
Let me see what I got here.
an old Austin Nichols here.
There you go.
There we go.
Actually,
Here's
I got a
that,
bottle
Bobby.
I picked up yesterday.
that?
I haven't opened
That's
yet.
that's got to be mid 90s label, right?
Yeah,
I picked this up yesterday.
yeah. This is a mid 90s.
Yeah. That's a good turkey, Bobby.
Yeah.
Ben, is that a what, late 70s decanter?
79. Got it
Yeah.
yesterday. But I think it might be glass. I think it might be painted glass. Because it's got like paint chipping off and it's clear underneath. So I think it's painted glass.
Huh. You haven't cracked it yet?
I just brought it home yesterday.
Okay. That's cracking, man. That's probably what's the do they have an age on there in months?
No, it's an 8-year age stated.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very nice. That's
It's
odd.
a 70. Actually, it's a 79. It might be a birth year bottle for somebody, so I might gift it.
Okay.
Let me grab some others.
That's fine, man.
Yeah, I'm a little older than that, Ben, but I really appreciate you sending that my way.
I was gonna say, Ben, I was born in '82, but that's pretty close.
That's
Man,
my
you guys-
birthday.
you guys are all like-
I'm sure I got one for you.
I'm pretty sure me and Mark are the old guys here. You guys are young as fuck.
Yeah, I was born in 1960. So there you go.
You're
Yeah.
the same age as the Gunny.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you.
Well, Bobby, you're 60? You're 65, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
At least. At least. All right. So medium ugly.
Look at that.
Medium ugly, real quick. If you want to pick a number.
Oh my!
That's the only way you're gonna see that thing, Ben. Don't be doing that.
The sexy level has just gone up.
All right, Dan.
Number 40 is medium ugly. So medium ugly. If you want to pick a number 1
That's a
through,
Beam's 10 pin.
I think
All right,
1 through 49.
There you go.
40.
I think. Hold on. I just want to make sure real quick. We have 1 through 49. Medium ugly. If you want to go ahead and pick a number 1 through 49.
10.
Number 10 is this number, guys. Number 10 is for the Old Granddad 114 from 1988.
That is a delicious.
Yes.
That is
Who said they
distilled
were
by
1980?
National Distillers.
Yep.
Very, very good stuff, guys. The old Granddad 114, the old stuff is just
So
phenomenal.
Ben, remember that OGD that was at the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Denny's
there you
that
go,
we
Ben.
had
Oh,
cracked?
I know you
Ben.
opened it.
He cracked it and sent it to. We cracked it to send to Zach.
Well, you didn't send me any.
Well, you know what? You said not to.
No, I said not to that night after we had already had like 6 or 7 amazing pours.
Yeah, we did have a lot of shit.
No, I didn't want to. I didn't want to open OGD, this old like 80s or 70s OGD.
I think it was 72.
Yeah. What do you call it? Dusty.
Big Vic.
Big
Congrats,
Vic.
Damn, Vic gets a killer win. What do you
just wait till you come down. Just wait till you come down, Ben. You don't have to get a sample. We'll just go drink it.
We had already had Lot B. We had had Evan Williams 23.
Yep.
We had Old Fitz, like Dusty Old Fitz. We'd had. I told after like 6 or 7 hitter pours already. I'm like, let's not open that killer bottle.
Right. I mean, if you remember right, he had it on the drinking bar, not the tasting bar.
It was good. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the. It wasn't as good as the.
I don't have that one, but I have.
Who was 1982 here? There you go.
I'm 82.
Oh,
I'm 82 as well.
This is 82.
So this is just a gold top one. This is 6 years, I think. Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, this one I don't think is age stated. But it says 10 all over it. But I don't believe.
Does the top have a little pour out of it?
No, it's
Yeah, it's weird. There's a little pour right here.
No, this one's got it's a screw top.
Okay, yeah, same as this one. It just screws off.
No, but this one doesn't have the pour, but apparently it's jammed.
So
no,
that's
it's been open before, so
yeah, it smells pretty good. So that was to Big Vic. Is Big Vic still in chat? Yes, he is.
He's
Big Vic,
donate
I think you're going to pick a number 1 through 48. Number 10 is Big Vic. Yes, Big Vic. Hey, William, I got your email, by the way. Big Vic, if you want to pick a number 1 through 48, that is going to be for the 1955 Cream of Kentucky.
Ooh, that's good shit.
Yeah, I haven't given away a sample of that in a while now. I still have like half a bottle of that left there.
I've had a few of those.
55. Those are good.
Big Vic said
21. Number 21.
Zoom back in here. I can't see. It looks a little more foul.
Let's see what she says.
Again, guys, if anybody wants to hop on, you're more than welcome. I posted the link up in the chat. If anybody wants to hop on, I think I could fit 2 more people in here. So,
and I will reiterate, Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Instagram. If you're into learning whiskey cigars, if you're experienced, you might enjoy it. But if you're trying to learn, it's going to be a great stream with Adam, and that's going to be a great flipping stream.
Shauna Marie D.
Shauna won.
Win the old Cream of Kentucky. That's awesome.
That's a sexy freaking glass. I can tell you that for sure.
Shauna, congratulations. You win the 1955 Cream of Kentucky. I don't know if you ever had anything old before like that, but that's awesome. Congratulations, Shauna.
Golf clap because that shit's excellent.
Yes, it is. It's very good. Very, very good. And then I guess, what do you guys think? We should go with the Old Taylor or Pre-Pro next? The old Oscar Pepper Pre-Pro.
Old Taylor, because I want Old Taylor. I'm not even thinking I want to try the Old Taylor.
Shauna Marie, congratulations.
I'm pretty sure, Dan, that like Old Forester barbecue blend I sent you was pretty like a significant amount, right?
Yeah, you sent me a 200 ml of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I drank it on its own, and then I made cocktails with it.
I'm just saying that Old Taylor piques my interest.
Yeah, the Old Taylor is great. I mean, it's made out of obviously the Old Taylor distillery. but through national distillers at the time. So,
right.
Shauna, if you want to go ahead and pick 1 through 47, this is going to be for the 1952 Old Tailor, which again I just recently cracked when I got home from Kentucky. 1952 Old Tailor, 1 through 47. Shauna says number 12.
You know, Dan, I'll tell you, not only to go with you, but Zach and Ben and everybody in here, there's something about Dusties that are just uniquely different. They just have a different profile. It's the whiskey that you can drink back when it was at proof, right? Because old whiskey never got dropped less than 86%.
Well,
right? It was always 86 proof. 86
Bob,
proof was the original.
but here's the deal. To me, more importantly than proof was raw material.
Congrats, Paul.
The makeup of the raw material that went into making that is completely different than what we see today.
Dude,
that's a conversation. I mean, I talked with Drew from Whiskey Lore about it's there's so many different variables that go into different, like to talk about a different profile from whiskey. I mean, one of the biggest ones is obviously, like back then they used white or yellow corn. They didn't use the hybrid corn, right? And then you talk about water filtration. Back then, the water filtration was like whatever you use. So, and then, as far as the wood, you got to think about it, right? So something from the 50s. Imagine cutting down a tree back then, like how old that tree was.
Right.
More modern day, you're using trees that aren't that old. So even when you go back to like pre-pro times, like those trees that they cut down are way, way different. Way older.
What do we have to do to get a whiskey barreled in redwoods from California?
I know, right?
Yeah, but do you think that those barrels made so much of an impact?
It's not
absolutely.
It may not just be the barrels themselves, but I think it's the overall process. You got to remember, like, back in the day, they didn't have buttons to push and shit was being made. You know what I mean? Like, this was true handmade bourbon. Again, you go from a hybrid corn to like now is hybrid corn. Back then it was either white or yellow. Right. So like that's a big difference by itself. The limestone water back in the day, the filtration systems that they had were not anywhere near what they were today. So
water, there was no filtration.
Well, exactly. And to your question, Zach, so I live in white oak country. I live in like where most of the white oak comes from. I live in like south central Kentucky. And so like that older wood, like the rings are much denser, right? So you got really dense wood. And so it totally changes what your barrels end up being. And those are gone. Let
me ask you a question. Do you think that equates to like what we call like the French oak barrels and stuff like that now? Because the French oak is a naturally tighter grained wood compared to the white oak that we used to see. Do you think that we got more impact like we do with the kind of French oak, which is a tighter grained wood? Like, is that some of the things that we're seeing now that were more reminiscent of kind of the natural white oak that we saw like in the 50s and 60s?
Everyone has a different profile, So in that aspect, no. But like as far as wood impact, possibly.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare trees from completely different
times. To be honest with you, man, there's whiskeys that I've seen and had personally that were, less than 6 years old, and these were bottled, very, very old, right? But the color on them, they're so dark, so there had to be more of an impact from that wood. Because there'd really be nothing else that could impact that color other than that. You're talking about a standard, typical bourbon, mash bill, obviously, because they didn't have a ton back then, right? It was pretty standard for the most part. Even proof ranges were pretty. outside of like old Wellers where it was like 110 proof or old like old Elmer T. Lee, like old Elmer T. Lee was like barrel proof, 107 proof, like things like that. Like, typically it was like in that 90 proof or like bottled and bond at 100 proof. But the color on some of the stuff back in the day was way different than the color now. So you know that there was more of an impact from that wood. Obviously, like, I mean, you think about it, like that's a long time, 100 years, you go back, those trees were way freaking different than they were now that they're cutting down. So,
I mean, and just like the wood itself, because it is older, I mean, it's just like anything else, like it takes on different tones. Like, I mean, so if you smell old wood, like, so I work in construction. So to William Hall's point, like old woods, it smells totally different than like newer trees. Nothing about it is similar. I mean, so like when we are working on older homes, there's a lot of those here in this area of Kentucky. They're built in the 50s and 60s. You have to pre-drill every hole, or else you're going to break every screw, nail, whatever you put into it. It's snapping off. It's not going to go in that wood because it's nearly steel hard.
Yeah, I got you. What we would define naturally now as like a softwood, back then, because of the tightness of the grain, there was no such thing as like softwood, right?
Ben's laughing his ass off here. I'm trying to figure out.
I could discuss wood impact.
Is it because I said wood is nearly steel hard? Was that the comment that got it?
Wood impact.
I listen. I'm not paying any attention to that. Like for real,
Anyway,
because I'm interested in this wood stuff, right? Because when you talk about like,
we know Bobby.
Yeah, the thing is that but you think about that, right? Because I grew up in a house that used to be a blacksmith shop.
Yeah,
and when we did some reconstruction when I was a kid, we tore down some walls and we had like 1920 like newspapers from the Savannah Tribune in Ohio, which was literally like nothing but the wood. It took them a long time to go through and do some of the construction because they ran into what you were saying. Like it was different. It was they couldn't just drill into it. They had to drill everything preset. Yeah. And we pulled out like our only insulation in our house that we reconstructed was newspapers. There was no insulation modern day. It was all newspapers. And so you run into blacksmith shops back in the day, and that shit was like, oh my God, you're talking like rough. You weren't doing cordless drills, you were doing power drills.
Yeah. Yeah, you need something plugged into a wall if you're drilling.
Yeah, you had to be plugged into electricity. You weren't coming through it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys really like want to get a good sense of, and I talked to a guy named Michael Veach. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. He's a bourbon historian, but talked to him about Dusty's at some point. I wanted to have him on the channel at some point this year. I just haven't reached back out to him, but he wrote a really good article on Dusty whiskey and the things that kind of change the profile of whiskey over time. So if you look Michael Veach up and you go through his stuff, I mean, you can see, I think you might be able to search like old bourbon, right? And it'll come up, and he talks about a lot of stuff like how it was grain and glass back then. The trees, the grain, the filtration process, XYZ, and he talks about all of it and goes through the entire process. And that's like, it's probably the most accurate description of why older whiskey is so different from modern day whiskey. So again, take a look at it. I mean, he's very accurate with it. I've talked to him about it multiple times. Drew from Whiskey Lore, whose podcast I was on last Monday, he's talked to him as well. So he's a great source of information. But again, I mean, a lot of the older stuff was it's a different time. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. I mean, things are so different from then to now. Right. You know,
I mean,
and like
nothing,
You know,
nothing was as precise back then. You know, it was
No,
it was just kind of like good old boys making whiskey and probably blowing themselves up.
I mean,
sometimes.
you got to remember, like way back in the day, right? Way back in the day when some of this older shit was being made, they were filling these barrels with like chew spit, tar, like right. So like, there's a lot of crazy shit they were filling these barrels with.
No.
It's fun, but you know, that's when the whole Bottled and Bond Act kind of came into play and made these barrels safe to drink because they were, you know, federally regulated and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But, you know, I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in some of these older barrels. So, you know, it's very different from today. So it's, you know.
So do you have another number you need to pick, Dan?
Yeah, let's win some of this old stuff, man.
Yeah, the whiskey food dude. If you're still in here, Paul, the last number is 1 through 46. This is the last one. This is for the I think it might be the last sample of my old Oscar Pepper pre-prohibition from 1916, I think, to 1927. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have to look at the tax strip, but 19.
13. He said 13.
Number 13. Paul says number 13. This is for the last sample, last giveaway of tonight, guys.
What I was going to say is a lot of people talk about it was the old wood, it was the stronger wood, it was the tighter wood. You know, tighter wood would actually have less impact on whiskey, not more. You know, there could have been more flavor, but it was also, you know, a lot of it's also in the drying and the aging of the wood. Once it's cut, you know, that's different. And like Dan said, basically the only thing that's the same is that it's still whiskey.
Yeah.
Every variable
from pre-prohibition, you got to remember too was not only was it aged longer during that prohibition period, but there was some stuff that was stored away in steel vats. Right. Yeah. So when barrels were getting dumped, they had to find a way to get rid of it so their barrels didn't get dumped. So they would put it in steel vats and put it away and then go back to barrel it afterwards. So some of the stuff that you'll find that has an age statement from 1916 or 1917 to 1933, 32, whatever, either was stored in a barrel somewhere, right? Or it was put into a steel vat and then bottled later on. That's kind of basically how they were able to hide these barrels.
Mark Mace, congrats, man!
Nice.
Mark, oh my God, he's not even here.
Even on screen for the reaction.
Wait till he comes back up.
You know, so Dan too on the whole wood aspect of influence. You know, another thing
he still has no idea.
No,
he can't even hear us.
So most exciting trip back from the bathroom ever.
Won.
Mark, you won.
Mark, you won.
Oh shit!
You won.
Shit!
Congrats, man!
Not only did you won the pre-prohibition.
Yeah.
You won the whiskey older than you.
I should take a bow. My bald head should take a bow. But what did I win?
You won a pre-prohibition old Oscar Pepper.
Very cool.
You know who that should go to Richie Z.
That's completely up to you, man. I'm not gonna sway in any kind of direction, but that's completely up to you.
Is there any one of you on here that think that man don't work his ass off every day just out of the kindness of his heart?
No,
I absolutely deserve it.
No, he is the best guy in whiskey and has been for a long time on the tube.
Man, that's a whiskey to give up. That's all I'm gonna say.
That should go to Richie Z. I'll tell you something.
Mark, I'll talk to you a little later on. So
talk about that should go to Richie Z.
All right,
send it to Richie.
All right, I'll send it to Richie Z.
If you want to talk about something else, happy to take your call, brother.
All right, we'll figure something out. Richie Z, Mark, congratulations.
I think Richie's got to join the after party for that.
Absolutely.
Richie has to get on stream if he's going to claim that sample.
I have tried for the longest time to get my friend on screen. Darrell,
what's up, man?
What's up, my friend?
Cheers, guys. How's it going?
Cheers, buddy.
What's up, Darrell?
Cheers, man.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
What are you sipping on?
I poured the. What is that? I don't even know. I think it's a Weeder, the Willet Weeder, the black bottle one that they did.
Just 8-year Willet Weeder, nothing big.
No, I don't remember it being fantastic though, but I don't remember it being bad either. But I'm just revisiting it because it's been a while.
Again, guys, I mean, just real quick, just thank you so much. Not only for being on here tonight, Zach, Bobby, thanks for joining me for the live. But I mean, for all the super chats and stuff like that, congrats to all the winners. I know we had a pretty long list of giveaways tonight, so I'll try to get the majority of them out tomorrow. And if not, I should be able to get them all out by Thursday or Friday, if not. So all that stuff will go. But again, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Much appreciated. So thank you so much. I'm not going off live. I just want to thank everybody real quick. Darrell, man, I tell you.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, of course.
Great streams. Your channel is growing. Things are going good. I'm happy to be a member. Everybody else should be in too. Hey, man, things are well.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I mean, it's much appreciated. Again, I mean, all you guys on the screen. Again, I appreciate all of you. So, it's much appreciated. You guys hop on here and enjoy a drink from time to time. And again, I mean, I enjoy giving my stuff away, man. It's and I know a lot of you, if not all of you, are very generous with your stuff as well. So,
speaking of generosity, you got to highlight Vic's comment there.
Where is he? Where is he? Hold on. Can't do it from my phone for some reason.
Yeah. Talking about Dusty Dan was second. He is second the Mark. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll second Mark on that. Send my win to Richie Z. He does so much for man, Vic. That's awesome, dude.
He really does.
Bravo.
Jesus.
Truly does. I mean, the guy's relentless. Never stops.
All right.
Well, and
that's awesome, guys. That's
been doing the background stuff for 3 years now.
I know he has. And trust me, I've tried so hard to get Richie on the channel. I know he can't right now, but I will tell you, I have had some very heart-to-heart conversations with Richie. He is an amazing person. He is a great friend.
Now we've had me and him has had plenty of talks back in the day, and it was always really fun, right? Because he just has such a good heart and his soul, and he likes doing what he does. So.
Yeah, what the man has is passion for what he's doing for all these families.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big passion.
Saying he could join the after party, even if he can't be on screen.
So Raider Dave. So Dan, Raider Dave is one of our biggest regulars on Wednesday nights, and I put this out on my Instagram channel because the thing is, like, I want to have this. Ultimately, when I'm rebooting back to YouTube, what me and Zach were doing is taking Wednesday night Instagram and figuring how do we cross-section the whiskey and cigar community? Because the majority, I mean, I'd say like a good, 75% of the people, maybe 80 higher, are cigar guys.
Well,
women and men.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Like, you need to understand is that Instagram is a lot more cigar focused. And there's a lot of things that happen on Instagram that are way more cigar focused. And the cigar community has just blossomed there. Where YouTube, this is kind of where Bobby and I kind of started. It was the whiskey tube, right?
Well, that's because
but now
YouTube banished cigars.
Yeah, YouTube has kind of stifled cigar growth. So
to the degree,
it was huge.
But I still think that there is a way for us to bring these two communities together. And if that's a little bit on YouTube, a little bit on Instagram, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull from our YouTube base and increase that from a sheer kind of cigar perspective, but at the same time, we're also trying to take our cigar base and introduce them to everything that we already know is on YouTube from a whiskey perspective. So there's a lot of folks out there that don't know that Whiskey Tube exists.
Yeah, they don't. They have no idea.
Yep, I agree.
They're very cigar focused, but they have no idea all of this has been going on all the way over here.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think it can work is because I got asked point blank on Instagram, why have I never been shadow banned? Why have I never been blocked? Because every time I always talk, I always start off with a very common thought. How do you have a better experience with controlled sipping? I make sure that I always say the idea is, listen, it's never about getting to a point of drinking too much, right? It's about how do you have the best experience? How do you have 8 hours with buddies in a controlled experience? That doesn't mean that we haven't all indulged, right? We've all indulged. But how do you have an opportunity to spend time without being out of control?
Yeah.
And that was really the biggest reason why originally I took a really, really big, bold step when I walked away, because I wanted to support everybody on YouTube, but I found that I was drinking like all the time. I was on every channel. I was drinking on every channel. And I was like, man, this ain't who I am. I'm not trying to get to the point that's out of control. I want to just, how do you have a controlled, better experience? Well, cigars, Mark can tell you this, Zach can tell you this, I can tell you this. That experience is better with both, because you only introduce the whiskey to your cigar profile when it's needed. And you can have controlled sipping in a controlled environment. So I think because I've always said controlled sipping, I've never, ever, ever been cut off, dropped, shadow banned, nothing on Instagram, because I never go to the point of beyond where I should be.
Yeah.
It's about how do you have the better experience?
Yeah.
And for the three, I don't know about everybody, but I know for sure me, Zach, and Mark, based on what we talked about tonight, there is something different. Like I can remember 3 years ago, might have been 2 or 3 years ago, before the Gunny was doing whiskey and cigars. Because I was doing whiskey and cigars, but not together with the Gunny back in the 90s.
He retired as a Gunny, right?
Yeah, he retired as a Gunny.
Yeah.
And so we were at an event, the Mid-Ohio Bourbon Boys. We were there. We were drinking all that stuff. And he was getting a little bit to the point that he had a little bit to drink. Not too much, but he was getting there. I said, hey, let's go out and have a cigar. And he's like, why? I said, listen, this is going to knock that down right away. A cigar will knock that buzz right down.
Yes, it will.
And I swear to God, if you're sitting there and you feel like you've gotten to the point that you're like too much, get into a cigar and you'll feel a buzz. You'll feel that buzz drop. So you only sip when your palate requires you to sip, and it slows everything down for a better long-term experience. And I talk about that from the instructor standpoint, right? And Dan, you know this because I've been with you forever. Ben knows this because he's been with me from the day one. Zach's been with me from day one. I've always been an instructor kind of guy. I have my own stuff. I have my whiskey bar that opens this fall. I have my tasting experiences that I do privately. I work with a company where I do tasting experience for them in Ohio from bourbon. And it's about that, right? It's like the idea of how do you have a better controlled experience? So I think that we can bring that to YouTube and find these two areas from the cigar community and the whiskey, because the cigar people are asking, how do we pair that with a whiskey? And the whiskey people are reaching out to me saying, hey, we want to learn more about cigars. So together, me and Zach are both instructor types. We're not really like anything more than that, and we don't want to be more than that.
I can agree with that, man. I mean, again, like you said, Bobby, I mean, I've talked to you for a long time now. Like this stream, I mean, like you hopping on has been a long time coming. Obviously, we have a very similar past.
Yeah, we do.
So, it's
From day one when I saw that picture in your hallway.
I mean, it's so, it's, and we've talked before, many times actually. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun having you on here finally. I know it's been a long time coming, but finally having you on here. So, but no, I can agree with you. I think cigars is something that I just got to get more into. I mean, I have a handful of them sitting up there. I don't know what they are, but that's something I would love to kind of get into a little bit more. And I just got to figure out a filtration system somewhere in here or outside, some lighting, something like that to kind of get into that to enjoy it with you. So
yeah, it's just been a process of us trying to kind of figure out where we belong,
right?
But at the same time, we didn't want to alienate like a historical base, right, and we knew that there was a way, so we're gonna try to, whether or not YouTube really likes it or not, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what we think is that the way that our content is focused, YouTube's not going to have a problem with this.
No,
yeah. That's our viewpoint.
Yeah.
So you think of Adam, right? Wednesday night, we're going with Adam.
Yeah.
From Whiskey Dreamer, right? Or he's Cigar Dreamers.
So,
he's got 118,000 subs on YouTube.
Real quick, Bobby. So Medium Ugly says, not sure if it was answered yet, but would Bobby and Zach do a only keep 5 cigars video? You can only keep 5 cigars. Could you guys do that video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't like it, but I could.
Well,
so William
when he's saying the 5 cigars, he's talking about the same format that was like the original Reddit challenge.
Yeah.
Like
you can only have 5 whiskeys.
Your mixer, your Friday night.
I think confidently Zach and I could.
I would line it up with that.
It doesn't mean that we want to do that, but we could say, like, I know 5 cigars that I could have off the top of my head. Now, it's always hard, right? Because we've had so many different boutique blends. Like, but I can say this. I wouldn't say 5 cigars, but I could say 5 people that put out cigars. Like I wouldn't like label so the Cigar Clowns, I wouldn't say just one. Cigar Clowns drops, amazing drops, but they're like true small batch. When you drop into small batch, that's where you get into the boutique blends, and so that was like, I'd be more like, who are my 5? I could put like a couple nationals and a couple boutiques.
Yeah. And
say like, those are the ones where I would reside if I had to.
Yeah.
Not that I like to, but I could.
If I had to, I could pick 5 cigars aligned with the 5 bourbon challenge. That would be easy.
Yeah, I could do it. Not that I want to. I would be more, but I think for me, Mark, I think I'd be more into what I think Zach would agree with. It would be hard to say an individual cigar because we do so much boutique that there's only like a certain drop in here that it's gone.
Maybe
and to Bobby's point, that would be like picking a like a one-off barrel that had maybe 30 bottles of right, and you were able to get one, and you're gonna say, oh well, that's one of my favorites. But it's one of 30 bottles. That could
be your special occasion cigar.
Right.
Well,
but it's not going to be your daily driver.
I get that. But the number of times that I get a drop and it's like that number of cigars, it's like, well, it's going to be difficult for folks. So my view on that list is going to constantly change.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where I almost feel like
mass production ones.
So I want to answer a question in the chat, right? Top Dog said, I never tried a cigar. Where should I start?
Yeah.
So that starts with, what is your go-to bourbon? What is the go-to drink that you have? Then that gives us more of a profile of where to start, right? Because when you're talking about mash bills, you're talking about blends. And depending on that mash bill.
Bobby, you know what we're going to say.
Yeah, I do. But
so William Hall says, still finding my way through the cigar world. Spend a lot of time up in my local cigar shop, sampler packs and random recommendations. The rabbit hole is long and deep. And then William Hall says, Dusty Dan, Mark should be in that only 5 cigars as well. Bourbon of the Week says, we're still going. Yes, sir, we are. William Hall says, do a bracket. Top 5 makes, and then top 5 in their lineup. Duel to the death. Oh, shit.
Now that's an interesting. Now that's an interesting.
Big Vic, you can suck it, dude.
Oh God bless.
Vic, hop on here, man. Come on. I got one more spot to fill. Vic, get in here.
Acid blondies.
You've got 2 more spots, Dan.
That's like having a corrugated board that has a spritz of something in it.
I would say this, guys. The pairing of whiskey to cigars or cigars to whiskey, I think that's a variable of choice. I am more of a cigar compared to the whiskey.
Mark,
the other.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to agree, but let me ask you a question.
Hold on a minute. Let me say this. I would say that if you had a pack of 5 and they varied between if I could select a 5 pack of cigars, if I understood your palate for bourbon, I could better do that. If you asked me to pick 5 cigars that match to your palate, I could not do that without the bourbon that you like. That would be, for me, easier to do, just off the top of my head.
So let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, one of the times, is a lot of times that new smokers do gravitate to the acid lines of cigars. Okay, we're not talking about is it right, is it wrong. Let's talk about why that is. Well, number one, it's actually a flavored cigar. Okay, so it's being flavored with something that you enjoy. What I think that needs to happen is you need to understand the actual flavor of a non-flavored cigar so that you can better move towards and you know what? It's the same thing as whiskey. You know what? There are times that you can give someone a Lafroig, and they go, "Oh my God, this is the most amazing thing that I've ever had." And you could give another person the same thing, and they go, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing that I've ever had. It is terrible. I don't even understand how you could have this thing. Why is this even a thing? This is the most disgusting thing I've ever had." Well, number one, that person that is tasting Lafroig for the first time, generally, when they say that, it is an assault to their palate. They've never had anything. They have no way to describe this thing that they're tasting. Now, on the other hand, you could have someone brand new and they go, "Oh my God, this is like barbecue, and I can taste all this campfire, and like I get it." Fair enough. It's the same way with cigars. When you start to kind of dig in and talk about wrappers and things like this, you can go, "Well, I could point you here, I could point you there, I don't necessarily know. If you're willing to experience bold flavors, I'm going to be able to point you towards kind of the middle of the pack, kind of medium to full flavored stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not there yet, I'm definitely going to start you off on something that's lighter.
Yeah.
Because
So I mean,
it's not going to be this assault to the palate. And it's one of the things that Bobby talks about whenever we talk about with whiskey. There is a palate acclimation that has to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's whiskey or if it's cigars. That palate acclimation has to happen in some form or another for them to go to the next step. And where you start in that acclimation process just means that's where you start. Too many people view that as like, this is going to be the thing that I love.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
it's very. You're almost kind of biased, I guess, if you will. But
it is a natural bias. But some of that is a natural bias, and it is very natural.
So what is the Blantons of the cigar world?
What is the Blantons?
What's the Blantons of the cigar world?
Arturo Fuente Opus X. Arturo Fuente Opus X is the Blantons.
Philly Blunt.
Gangrene.
Chris, I want to say hi to you, buddy. Thanks for joining, man.
No,
I appreciate everything you do, brother. You know that.
I will say this though, it is the Blantons because it's sought after. It's still Blanton's is very good for what it is.
For $60.
We can't. Well, but yes, cigar world and whiskey world has some similarities, but there are some differences, right? What they do to create the Opus X is X. What they do to create the Blantons is Y, right? So there is some difference there. But what you're talking about is like what's a proof point that's at a taste profile that meets a common select group of people. You look at the Opus X, it's a high dollar cigar, but it is exactly what it is. It's not going to go outside of this, and it's not going to go outside this. It's right here.
And the odds
are right here. It's always good. It's always concrete. It's exactly what it is. But it's not inflated. Like you're not going to buy it you can buy Opus X on a secondhand and it'd be really like high. But Opus X is high anyway, right? You're going to get our Arturo Fuente Opus X. But what you get in it, you get a great construction of a good cigar that is a good profile. And it is what I consider if you like that, then you can broaden your range outside of it.
Yeah.
Like when you start figuring like everybody in here that does whiskey, right? We're all high proof whores. Yeah. But we did not start as high proof whores. You started somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey.
Opus X is that place where you could start and you're like, wow, that's a good constructed cigar that smokes a certain way. It has a great profile.
I mean,
Bobby, I'm a classy lady.
William said it really quick. So he says it's like bourbon. Get in, see how deep it is, and then find your way and then learn to swim.
Yeah, you got to find your way.
Learn to swim is a great way to put it.
But I can tell you this, Dan, it's really simple. I say this on our Wednesday night stream almost every single night. But you are not going to pull profiles from cigars without smoking them. The same way you're not going to do profiles of whiskey without drinking them.
So let's address like the elephant in the room, like William Hall just said. If William handed someone $100 cigar, now depending on the profile of that cigar, he may actually because he doesn't understand the nuance of that cigar, he could go, oh God, this is freaking boring.
Yeah.
Richie Z, Richie Z, good night. Turks, good night. Sorry, guys, Zach, go ahead.
No. So that's also kind of there's an underlying nuance that needs to be understood when you're talking about cigars. It's the same as there's a nuance in bourbon and talking about that. And But in cigars, you can have somebody go, "Oh, I bought this really expensive cigar," and they go, "It was freaking boring."
Yeah.
So real quick, so Top Dog asked, question is, what is a brand or label to start just one name, just one?
Oliva.
Oliva is a fantastic one.
Oliva
I think another one in a slightly even I think Oliva is your like $8.50 $9 range. Right under that, excuse me.
Chew.
Oh,
God bless you.
Dude, I'm sorry. The trees are having sex and they're like throwing pollen everywhere, dude, right now. So I apologize. Oh, it's terrible.
You just smelled a whole lot of nut.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Zach. Yeah, it's rough right now.
But I think another one that I think that offers kind of a line of cigars is Charter Oak. I think it's a brand that is overlooked,
Awesome.
especially for those that are really trying to get into it, because the Connecticut that they offer is not lacking of flavor
for beginners,
but is very accessible.
Yeah, right.
And I'd add one more.
So real quick,
Bobby,
Zach,
Bobby is absolutely right. Bobby is absolutely right. The oak, absolutely right. I would agree. And I'd add one more: the Grand Habano, Persian King, in Toro.
Yeah. So William Hall says no one should waste $100 cigar on me. Not saying you wouldn't enjoy it, not the way I should or deserves to be enjoyed.
I think, and as I'm gonna speak as the guy that never smokes. I smoke a cigar on the golf course, and that's about it. I don't appreciate it. I'm not out there trying to find the nuance in it. I'm just smoking a cigar because I'm on a golf course. If somebody gives me $100 cigar, I'm not going to tell the difference between that and a $10 cigar. I'm just not.
No, but Chris, you're right? Because so I am very nuanced into my whiskey cigar blends, but what I take to the golf course is not that. Typically I take a Churchill because I want a couple of cigars to last me 18 holes. I know that if I'm talking about the best of the best to take to the golf course, I'm going to put you on an H. Upman Banker. It is the best one. Get the Churchill. You can get 8 holes out of one stick. It's pretty good on wind resistance. It will sit there, and it will just complement whatever 90 proof whiskey you have because you're not drinking above 90 proof on the golf course.
You only need 5 cigars. You need a golf cigar. You need a chilling on the deck cigar. You need maybe do 5 situations.
Celebration cigar.
I also feel like just go ahead.
Bobby, right. Hey, hold on a minute, man. Hey, Ben's right. That's what I said. I could pick.
Nobody says that often. Can we catch that soundbite?
Yeah, clip it.
Ben's right. Ben's right on the nose. Ben's right.
You just got to make sure you have a cigar that doesn't give you pneumonia.
Is that what I need to make sure? Is that what I need to make sure of?
Well, that was directed towards Ben, right?
No, Raider Dave says that's
got to be like the first box you should check. I feel like
I was gonna say, don't get pneumonia.
No.
Box number 1.
What happened was I
0 diseases in this cigar. All right,
5 days.
Clench your dick
up over 24 hours straight.
Clench a dick. I can just say that. So.
Can I switch things up real quick? Only because I don't get to talk to Darrell that often.
Yeah.
What's added to the collection, my man? I know you got something good, new. You always have something new for me. What do you got? He's lying if he doesn't have something. He went out yesterday and got something. I know he did.
Darrell's a baller, man. You didn't know.
Darrell's a baller. I know he did. We talked one night about something, and I know he's got a bottle in there. Yeah, got something. I don't want to put your business all over the internet.
I'm going to go offline real quick, guys. We're at almost 4 hours. We're getting close. I'm going to go offline. Thank you guys all for stopping in. Guys on the screen, hang out, chat, bullshit, whatever. We can talk. Classified stuff as soon as we get off. But guys, thanks so much for stopping in the chat tonight. Again, from the super chats, everything, giveaways. I'm going to try to get everything out tonight. Cheers to everybody in the chat on the screen. I will talk to all of you all soon. Cheers, everyone, and we will see you next Monday night with Brian Treacy from Sagamore. Until next time, guys.